it's starting to come out. I've been holding it in for too long. Yeah, it's starting to come out. And I can't pretend anymore. Oh, I'm yours. Never thought I'd even try. After just one day, it's special, yeah. But there is something in your eyes. Ooh, one false move and you'll be gone. You maybe, it's alright.
What's going on?
In
We're
this
back.
moment,
Yes.
I cannot say what's wrong or right.
No.
It's not hard to fool me,
No.
'cause I'm addicted to the good life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to the CIA.
I follow, no need to say.
No. One love to the FBI. What's going on, people?
I follow to the edge of it all.
In the chat room.
Edge of it all.
Age, city, gender. Let's get it. Come on.
Good night, 'cause I'll buy no matter what. Yeah. Susceptible now, before the moment flies. Ooh, so tell you good night, 'cause I'll buy no matter what. Ooh, susceptible now, before the moment flies. It's not a problem,
No.
'cause I know what I'm getting into.
Yes.
Yeah, and nothing can stop
Oh,
me,
yeah. Ti amo.
'cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the
Come on.
way,
We got it in there.
I follow.
Corey, what's good? 35-year-old male from Boston, 42.
Where
36
we
single,
are heading
55-year-old.
now, babe.
Don't worry about him, RSA. It's mine. 35-year-old.
To the edge of it
Working
all.
from Miami.
So tell you good night, 'cause I'll buy no matter what. Yeah, susceptible now, before the moment flies. Before it flies. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll buy no matter what. Susceptible now, before the moment flies.
What's going on? What's going on? What is going on? Shout out to the CIA. One love to the FBI. What's going on? Kin folks and cousins, nieces and nephews. Yes. Godfather's still here in New York City. And if you've been on Instagram, you understand what's going on. First off, shout out to your Godfather. Go ahead and a round of applause. Landed another brand deal today with Saks Fifth Avenue. Details coming soon. Tomorrow I'll be hosting a Killian event here, but long and short of it is I'm about 80% sure that I'm going to be relocating to New York City. Just like all the signs are pointing to Atlanta, all the signs seem to be pointing to New York City, which is a good thing because I love the city. But here's what I need you to do. Hot lips in the house. Naima ain't seen you in a minute. Girl, I thought you'd quit me. Kinfolk. Yeah, kinfolks and cousins. Colloquialisms. Get with it. Chill out. All right. So, today's topic. Oh, before we get into this though, guys, do me a favor. Down at the bottom, there's a little thing called a like button. Make sure you hit the thing called the like button. See, I know a lot of you guys aren't familiar with how to find buttons here or there. I mean, that's what your girlfriend told me. That's why she ain't your girlfriend no more. You don't know how to find her buttons. There's a little button down there, the little button, and you need to hit that button often. And funny thing, when you hit that button, things happen. On this channel, when you hit the button, I at least know you appreciate the program. Right now, there are 1,500, almost 1,600 people in here, and we should have at least 800 people who have hit that like or dislike. I don't care, hit one or the other. Because if you don't hit the button, here's what ends up happening. We go straight from the program where we're cooking with gas, and we go to something like this. We start playing our intermission music, and a lot of y'all get real mad when this happens. If you don't want to hear that loud rock and roll song in your ear blaring, give me what I need. Give me what you got for a pork chop. This ain't Jimmy, but I won't stop. Yeah, give me what you got for a pork chop. All right, that's how we're going to do this. Moderators, here's what we're going to do. We're going to allow people to come in, people to rock out. Here's the thing. I'll be nice to you if you're nice to us. All I ask is that you don't come in here acting stupid, talking crazy. Be respectful of people in the chat room. People want to have different opinions. I'm not looking for sycophants. I'm looking for a conversation. Looking for a conversation. And you see the title of this stream. Happily single, but still open to high value men. And understand something. When these ladies are talking about they're happily single, women like Tracy Ellis Ross talking about she's happily single, but still open, understand something. They aren't talking about being open to the guy who's working first shift down at the plant. They're not talking about being open to the guy who's an entrepreneur. They're talking about to straight up high value men, especially at her age of 47. For those of you who don't know who Tracy Ellis Ross is, Tracy Ellis Ross, shout out to T.O. What's going on, Bam? Say congratulations. Appreciate it. I think I'm going to have to come up with his own. Between him and Ike, man, I'm going to have to come up with his own song. Ike got a song. Theo's going to need a song. But here's the thing. For those of you who don't know, Tracy Ellis Ross, the woman who thrust this thing into the current conversation, is the daughter of one Diana Ross. Yes, Diana Ross is her mother. Here is Tracy Ellis Ross. I didn't want it that big, but there we go. Tracy Ellis Ross, her mama is Diana Ross. You know, the Diana Ross, the diva. Yes. And she has been in Hollywood, in popular entertainment for a long time. She was actually on a show called Girlfriends. Her and, several other strong, independent, I don't need no man type, black women. These shows have been with us forever. Okay? Living single, girlfriends, you name it, we have it. And I will say that, she is an attractive woman. She has a very nice body, especially for you guys who like nice butts. She's funny, talented, comes from good stock, as it were. But she's been unmarried her entire life. And not too long ago, about a year or so ago, Oprah Winfrey, the progenitor of this whole concept, interviewed her. And the subject came up. Now, I'm not going to play the interview. It's available here on YouTube. Go around and look at it. But it's come back around this season in the magazine, on the cover of Shape magazine. Tracy Ellis Ross shared some notes on cultivating a productive relationship with loneliness. So this video, I'm going to be talking to women over 30 years old, to my professional women, my productive, competitive, successful women, presumably competitive. Presumably competitive. Productive, I'll give you. Successful, I'll give that. Competitive, I'm going to leave that out there. Are they truly PCS? They're PS, but maybe not PCS. And these women are professionals. Okay? Here we go. Reflecting on relationships, Ross says, people can be in wonderful relationships, but can't really reap the joy of that connection. Because you can have all the good stuff, but if you don't know how to be with it, it doesn't matter. I realize that I hold the idea of wholeness in great reverence and respect because my goal is to have an experience with myself that is whole. And it goes on. And here's the thing. Kudos to you, Tracy Ellis Ross. Kudos to you, Oprah Winfrey, and all the predecessors in this line of thinking. I'm strong, independent, don't need no man, but I would like one if one came along. But here's the problem I have with this sentiment. It generally comes from women who are in entertainment or who are in entertainment. These women are typically in some form of media. They are not, not the rank and file woman has to go in from Brooklyn to the subway, catch the train from Brooklyn to Manhattan, or has to commute, from this side of Houston to that side of Houston. These women live a completely different life to where they have an amount of financial freedom and lifestyle that they can talk this kind of stuff. No offense, but it's really not attainable for nearly 100% of you. You have to be a star. You have to be famous to do what she's talking about effectively. Well, I don't want to say you have to be. You either have to do that or you have to be making significant six figures. We're talking $500,000 or more. It's not going to get there on 100K in Houston. And she goes on. She's also confirmed that she is happily single, but that she wouldn't pass up a good thing, explaining, that doesn't mean I'm not open to and don't want a relationship. You're 47, you're happily single, looking for a relationship of wholeness with yourself, but you wouldn't pass up a good thing. Then this good thing would have to be a man who's at least on her level, high value. High value, and what I mean, the income for the length of time, the network of high value, other high value men recognize him as a peer. The network is there. The visibility and the utility is there. Especially for a brother, you got to have those. She would not marry Black James Walsh. She may kick it with him, may date him, but marry? No. Not my opinion. But in my wonderful, robust experience with being single, I've learned to have a productive relationship with loneliness and an intensely juicy relationship with my joyful solitude. I really enjoy my company. The women like Tracy Ellis Ross make this stuff sound so fantastic. It's the sexing of the city of an entire generation, telling women that they can have it all, that you can have a productive, juicy, solitary relationship with your singleness and blah, blah, blah. And she said it in the interview. If I chose to get married, I could get married. Put a pause right there. So what kind of things does she do to spend quality time with herself? For example, some of the things I love to do pre-pandemic is to put on some cute and go for dinner and have a beautiful meal, a glass of wine. Well, you can't do that, you said. But you know what? I can do it at home. I make a beautiful plate, set it out, and have a glorious meal. I make my bed every morning. One of the things that's been lovely to discover is how to care for myself and how to actively love myself. I believe love is an action. You get back what you put in. She added that part of learning to love yourself is letting go of perfectionism. I used to spend so much time trying to be perfect, to get it perfect. That's not realistic. Bad feelings come up, she said. This was an element of there's an element of risk or trying something different. To try the idea of what is the universe conspiring for good? Not necessarily mine, but what if I don't have the full picture? What is all this? Okay, blah 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 blah. Look, this is some more that new age. You can have it all, sis. But what did she really say? Instead of having a relationship or a marriage, I used to put on a nice dress, go out and have a lovely meal by myself. But see, the pandemic has brought all this into focus. She can't do that anymore. So what does she do? She gets up in the morning, makes a bed, and she's in the house by her damn self. Learning to love herself until it's time to cook a dinner and eat by herself. Let's say, for the sake of argument, Tracy Ellis Ross is happy. Good. But what I want to question is, can she really choose to get married if she wants to? She said this in other interviews. Actually, go listen to the Breakfast Club. And if I wasn't worried about getting a copyright, I would play it. The Breakfast Club played the clip where she was being interviewed by Oprah. But many women like her believe, or would have us believe, that they can just go pick a man off the high value tree at any time and could easily walk into a relationship. Okay, let's talk about it. Over 35, happily single, but still open to a high value man. Many women say these things. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy, but I'm open. But my question to all of you ladies is, can you be single too long? Can you be single too long? Well, let's see. I say you can. I say you most definitely can be single too long. You can be single so long that you're no good to anybody else. This is especially a trap or a problematic for women who are professional. You can be single too long to where you are of no good to anyone else but you. Now this is gonna sting some of you guys, but we're gonna have the conversation. If you are used to getting up, doing your own thing, you and your, because most of you ladies have a dog or a cat, most of you have a dog. You have your own routine. You answer to no one. You may date. You have friends with benefits, people to scratch those itches. But if you are alone for most of your life, meaning uncommitted to one person, you have not learned or developed the relationship muscles. Let's look at some of the things that women like this tend to do. They tend to have long distance relationships. Shout out to Darius. A lot of these PCS women, especially the professional PCS women, tend to have long distance relationships. We're going there tonight. Yeah, long distance relationships. Why? Well, one of the benefits of a long distance relationship is you don't have to worry about, all you have to do is worry about somebody for 2 days. See him on Friday, Saturday, gone on Sunday. You got to be your best for 2 days. But see, the real relationship happens Sunday through Thursday when life is going on, when work is going on. And you got to get back to the person you're dealing with. You can't miss calls or times and all that kind of stuff. All the little things that go along with an actual in-person relationship, you don't even get to taste that in a long distance relationship. It's all upside. High value men avoid women with a long history of long distance relationships. Unless they're looking for friends with benefits, something sexual, then it's fine. But when these guys are starting to look for something long term, You avoid women with who have a history of long distance relationships. Guys, get the likes up. I'm already looking around and I'm seeing them not up. I'm not seeing them up. Congrats on the brand deal. Appreciate it. Why the long distance relationship? Well, because long distance relationships basically allow people to feel like they're in a relationship without being in one. We're playing. Number two, they tend to have very active friend circles, but their friends are all in relationships of some sort. So it's almost like simulation. And this becomes a lifestyle. Looking in NFL City, a city that has a lot of young professionals. This can go on for a long time. Short-term monogamy, serial monogamy, in and out relationship, rotational dating, whatever you want to say it, the longer you're not in a one-to-one relationship with somebody, the worse your relationship skills get. To the point to where when you're somebody like a Tracy Ellis Ross who thinks she can just turn it off and get married or be in a relationship, women like her are woefully mistaken because there's something that's not quite right with them. I mean, the resume looks good. On paper, it looks good, but they're just a little bit off. It's kind of like trying to dance with somebody and they're just a quarter of a step off. There's just something a little off. And you can tell somebody who's not used to having to relate to somebody, check in with somebody, deal with somebody. Ladies, can you be single too long? Men can be single for a long time and not suffer these effects. You, on the other hand, can and will more often than not suffer these effects. I've heard this countless times over my life where a man is like dating someone, he likes her, but there's something just a little off, and the relationship, and she's confused because it all lined up on paper. But if you spend your time by yourself, ladies, you are the only person you have to make happy. You have you learn self-care, self-love kind of things, and that's fine. But what does that life look like if you're not a Hollywood celebrity or in the top 5 or the top 1% of earners in this country? What does it look like? What does that look like? What does that look like? It looks like dying alone. Oh, oh, you're being hyperbolic, Kevin. That's not true. Oh, yes, it is. There is an epidemic in this country of highly educated, productive, successful, professional women, black women in particular, who are single as French toast and cannot understand why they cannot keep a man. They can date men, high value guys. They can date productive, competitive. They can date PCS men. They can date Henrys, but they can never get the ring. There's always some kind of relationship history to where they blow it up or they pick wrong. It's never, it's just, it's sad because young women look at women like this and say, wow, she's attractive and she's professional and she's got the world, and can't understand why these women, while they say they're happy, you know, Let's take Tracy Ellis Ross at her word. She's happily single. Great. But the majority are not. Because life is about people. Life is about relationships. And you can be single too long, ladies. That's why I have this thing called
Danger Zone.
the longer you are single, the longer you're going to the harder it's going to be for you to get in a relationship. You can be single too long.
Danger Zone.
You can be single too long. And no one talks about this with women. It's always like, well, do what you want, have it how you want. And that's not true. Every freaking 3 months, the clock is running. And if a man, the kind of men you want, the kind of the PCS men you want, the Henrys, the high value guys, all those guys, when they go out with you and there is something that's just a little off, men are asking, why would I want to deal with a woman who's 47 when I could get a woman who's 26? Who is not so busy throwing how happily single she is in front of me and how she doesn't need me, who everywhere we go, it's new. It's easier to impress her. Well, that's on you guys. You want it easy. You want these young girls. You don't want a grown woman that you're going to have to. You're right. We don't. We don't want to have to. Nope. Whatever makes you sleep better at night, ladies, you're right. Whatever makes you older women clown older men for skipping over you to get younger women because you cannot compete with them. Because honestly, they're easier to get along with. They understand that they still need to be competitive. They're still excited. They're still like the puppy when you come through the door. They're not like the dog. They're like, ugh. A lot of men want women who act like puppies, and a lot of you women act like cats. The higher up you go, the more women become cattish. Have you ever tried to call a cat? Cats don't come when you call them. Cats do what they want to do. Well, what's the purpose of having a relationship with somebody who doesn't need you and has cat-like behavior? Who is well-versed at making themselves happy, taking care of themselves, a great self-care routine. What's the point? Gentlemen, in the comment section, let the ladies know what it feels like to deal with a woman who could take it or leave it, and it doesn't seem to make a difference either way. If you've ever dealt with a woman like that, you know it's not worth the headache. Why is this important? Because so many women are running around telling ladies that you can be happily single. And I'm sorry, unless you are in the high six-figure earners or these famous people, you accountants, you customer service agents, you CNAs, all the other things. Even if you have your,
I'm a PhD.
unless that PhD is making you, unless that PhD is making you 5 figures, I mean high 6 figures, we need to knock it off. Because that's the danger of these continue to tell women that you can be happily single, but I'm open. You're open. Men are closed. Men are not selecting Tracy Ellis Ross's. Not for marriage. She can still get it. There are a lot of guys who would slay that easy. Would have no problem even being seen with her in public. But would a man that she wants do it? Let's say, imagine the man that Tracy Ellis Ross would get. Chances are he would be younger. Maybe some up and coming young actor. Can you imagine a woman like Tracy Ellis Ross with a 58-year-old CEO of a Fortune 50 company, an accomplishment? No, they needed a completely different woman. And that's the ultimate point. The longer you're by yourself, the less likely you are a good fit for anybody else. Tonight we were going to talk about high value versus finesse, but this is important. Here's some things, ladies. I'm going to ask you, ladies, especially you women over 35. What are you going to be willing to give up? These long distance relationships, no good. To deal with a high value man, let me tell you one of the first things you're going to have to give up: your friends. Your friends. Your friends are going to have to go because your friends are used to you being around for them at all times. Nope. And your friends make demands on your time that your man is going to expect. Get them up, people. Your friends. Your friends are going to have to go. They're going to realize that they can only text you or call you a certain amount of times a week because your time is reserved for him. And ladies, this is what guys consistently say. Guys consistently say this stuff. Consistently say this stuff. Friends, and in particular, your male friends. What you need a male friend for? You got a man. And if you're not willing to put your friends on ice, then you don't need a relationship. Because you got one. If you're not willing to cut off, and this, especially in today's world with this new social media and everything, there are many. The seventh, I did this broadcast. What are we willing to give up to get what you want? And here are the things: your friends, your female friends, definitely your male friends. Social media, unless you work in social media, or social media is an active part of your professional life or brand. Religion. He's Catholic, you're Muslim. Are you willing to convert? Moving. Long distance relationships are a short term thing. Someone's going to have to move, and you're going to have to move to him. More than likely, you're going to have to move to him because high value men aren't going to move into your house. Are you prepared to move? If you, money in a marriage, he's going to control the money. And if there are children involved, because I'm realistic, discipline are you willing? You're going to have to allow your man to discipline the child of another man as if they were his biological kid. Why? Because he's carrying the bills. You're going to have to allow him to discipline the kids without questioning anything, without laying in the bed. No questions. If you don't trust him to discipline the kid, don't get with him. Or if this is too much for you to deal with, then give custody of the child to the father. Those 7 things: religion, social media, friends, moving, discipline, money, custody. Why those? Because those are the hot button issues. And these are the things that tend to come into life the longer you are single. When you're 22 years old, you don't have kids, so you don't have custody. Money ain't that big a deal because you're broke. Moving away, again, you're broke. What difference does it make? You're good to move. Friends, you don't have a lifetime of building friends and going on hot girl summer trips and everything else. Your friends are from high school, maybe some from college. And social media was just a way to stay plugged in. And religion, The thing is, the older any of us gets, the more set in our ways, and women are far less likely to want to give up things that make them feel comfortable. When I did this last broadcast, many women were like, well, what if it doesn't work? 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 Too bad. Then here's the real answer. Then you better make sure it works. That's the truth, ladies. You want to say, well, if I give up all that, what if it doesn't work? Exactly. That's the level of commitment these high value men, these Henrys, these PCS men want from you. They want you to have a skin in the game. They want you to know you need to perform. They want you to be engaged. And the only way a man can truly get you engaged is when you're 100% focused on him. Not everything else. Not your career, not this, not that, not these people, not that person, not this, not even no, 100% on him. And if you're not willing to do that, then know it. But don't think that just because you're happily single and you're a professional woman, that all of a sudden you can just decide to snap your fingers and be open to these guys because they're going to read you. They're going to see that something's off. And when they start asking certain questions, you're going to answer them in a way that's going to make them say, and certainly the way you move. Guys, are you men who have dealt with women who are 100% focused on them? Understand that vibe and that move versus women who are not. You move differently. If you move in the 50-50 way, don't expect a 100% man. Oh, we are going there tonight. We are going there tonight. We are going there tonight. All right, man. We're going to need to get these donations up, man. We got 3,700 people in here. Really? I mean, Theo came through with the big donation, but y'all tripping, man. I'm giving too much good information, and I know the ladies are upset right now because they're not understanding why they can't have it all. Why do they have to give so much in a relationship? Why do I get to give up all this? Why can't I be happily single? What are you saying that I can be single too long? Yeah, you can. It's like being in solitary confinement. Put somebody in solitary confinement, they tend to go cuckoo. You've been in solitary confinement in your single life, and some of y'all are crazy. All right, here's the thing. I'm going to need you guys to get that up because you guys. Oh man, we don't even have it. All right, you asked for it. Get my likes up. We're gonna need 10 people to drop 99 cents in here, man. Come on. Y'all tripping. Y'all are tripping. Get them up. What's going on, Ike? 39 Dina, what's going on? Appreciate it. Hey, Leah. Let me go ahead and answer this shit for Leah. See, again, that's why women like you are single. Any man who let me go ahead and post what she said. Any man who's wanting a woman to move states got to be a provider. Here's the problem, Leah. If you pick right, that shouldn't even come into question. See, the things I say, a lot of you women get triggered about because it's all about you. If you are who you say you are, then you should be able to attract like you. And then a lot of the objections you have are non-starters. You give objections based upon men that you say you're not like. You notice how these women who's supposed to have all their shit together give all these objections about guys who don't have their shit together? Why are you so focused on guys that don't have their stuff together if you're so together? You notice, do you guys, am I the only one that notices this? Anytime you start talking about commitment and having these women actually put up or shut up, then all of a sudden here come all the excuses. Yeah, but he's got to do this, he's got to do that, and he's got to do this, and he's got to do that. If you are what you say you are, and you got your schnit together like you say you do, then you should only be attracting men who can obviously provide. Dr. Lucia called in the other day talking about the women like her mother, who he said, my father's moved us internationally 4 times, and my mom hates motorcycles. She gets motion sickness, and she listened to a show last night. And basically, those women don't worry about, well, Can he provide or not? Oh, but see, the thing is, that means that you're going to have to start picking on swag and attraction and all bullshit. You got to pick on stuff that really matters. If you're going to give me an objection on substance, then God damn it, Leah, and women like you, you better French toast pick on substance. Got it? Write something else in the comment section about what a man should do. What should you do? And see, that's where it really comes down to. A lot of you ladies, when we start talking about giving up stuff, it's always worried because who leads the relationships? You. No, you should pick and you should pick well and you should have to live and deal with your relationship for better, for worse, richer, for poorer, in sickness and health, till death do us part. And that's the problem. Women who are happy single, you don't know how to be involved. You're always looking for the front door. You always got one foot in, one foot out. And you stink of it. You smell, you have the stench of non-commitment on you. You have the stench of lacking loyalty on you. You have the stench of soon as it gets bad, she's out. You smell like a problem. And high value men's nose are sensitive to your BS. PCS men and Henrys can know what that smells like on you. So you think because you come in with your little snatched waist and looking good, looking that, and your perfume and that, no, they're looking into the core of you. They're looking for it. And you can't fool them like you want to. That's why they're not picking. So instead of talking about what the men need to do, let's talk about, can you be single too long? I say you can.
Danger Zone!
If you reach age 40 and most of your life, if you reach age 40, and I would just say if you've spent from 18 to 40 years old, and you're like a lot of the people who call into my show, you've had one relationship back in college that was 2 years long. And outside that, it's been in and out. That's why I say therapy. Because there's something about a fear-based thinking. It is not normal for women not to want to nest. Yes, there are some women that don't want to have children. There's some women who want to be alone their life. They do exist. But the majority, 80+% of you ladies want to be in romantically significant relationships for lifetimes that produce children. You want emotionally profound relationships that produce children. But the thing is, you do not know how to get and keep them. You don't know how to keep them. That's the thing. You know how to get men. You don't know how to keep you know how to get a guy, but you don't know how to keep a man. You know how to get a guy, but you don't know how to keep a man. And this is why when you deal with a man, you treat a guy and a man the same way. I said it last night, you play the same games, you do the same stuff, and you wonder why you blow it with the guys, with the men that you want. It's not because you can't attract them, it's because you can't keep them. So yes, there is a danger in staying single too long. What's the fix? Stop running. Stop running and address your abandonment and acceptance issues that you probably have from not having a father in the household, broken family like many of us. Realize that men are not the enemy, that you need us in order to have a successful, productive, happy, full life. Going to dinner by yourself and sitting in the bathtub ain't gonna cut it. Get real about your actual SMV and where you rank on the market and then allow yourself to be picked by the right man, and then you choose to stay. That's why I say long distance relationships. Those are great for runners. People who cannot get it done, or people who have a fear. All right. But you know what? I could have this all wrong. I could have it all wrong. I could be completely upside down. I don't know what I'm talking about. As often, I don't know what I'm talking about. But here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to open the call line up because I want to hear from the professional women, the professional women, the productive women, the successful women. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you, and I want to hear if you think you can be single too long, or you think, no, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. You can be single for a long time and then all of a sudden decide to flip it. Let's hear it. Let's talk about it.
Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar, un lugar para trabajar, y si no hay para emigrar. Todo money, money, todo el dinero. Solo un par de gente se lleva el botín entero. Funny, funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienen lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero llegaremos antes o después. Solo a lo suyo, que Dios te la ve. Que por más que tarde lo veré caer. Somos más lo bueno y tenemos fe. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo voy. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón, porque mis sentimientos se volvieron la canción. Yeah. No me vale mucho como tú me ves. Sabes, tú me llegas solo a lo
Go,
que
Tierra.
para mí ser grande es un interés. Ser un buen humano para mí es un deber. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo voy. Money work. Yeah. El mundo quiere dinero. Yeah, yeah. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. De corazón. La plata no te hace ser feliz. Yeah, de corazón. La plata no te hace ser feliz. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Yeah, 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 yeah. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work.
Luna.
Lunático.
Miss Money World Girl, Miss Tierra. Scoops, everybody. Oh my God, I cannot wait. I'm serious. I can't wait to get up here. I'm seriously thinking about doing this. So here's what we're going to do. Ladies, I'll be nice to you if you're nice to me. That's all I ask. Don't act a fool. Don't get upset. You have a chance to speak. You can speak your mind. Just remember, I'm running a show. Here's what I need you to do. In the background, I need you to mute the background noise. You need to make sure you turn YouTube off. Because if you don't, I'm going to just mute you. YouTube has to be off, so I can't hear background noise. Go ahead. Hello.
Hello.
Miss Underwood, how are you?
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I do well. Can women be single too long?
Okay, so here's the thing about that. I swear I feel like you were reading reading my life. Um,
Okay.
when it comes to women like Ellis Ross and myself,
Mm-hmm.
it comes down to with her, it just boils down to the fact that we know what we need to do. We just don't want to do the work. We've been single for so long. You get used to your space, you get used to
Mm-hmm.
your freedom. And then the thought of getting in a relationship and losing all of that, along with the other things that you said, it just feels like it's just too much.
Okay.
Um, and then you want a relationship, but you want it. You also like I'm very picky. I will admit I'm picky. I think she's very picky.
Oh yeah.
Um, you want the perfect guy, right? And you're not finding out, or you're just everything about someone just turns you off immediately. And it's more of a self-defense mechanism because really you just don't want to give up your time and your freedom. For me,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little different because I was married once. Um, I went through a tumultuous marriage and divorce. It took me 2 years of therapy to deal with that. Then I met a Henry, and that relationship fell apart.
Okay.
And then I found myself being diagnosed with cancer.
Uh-oh.
So for 6 years, so from 2013, actually I started having health problems in 2012. So from 2013 until 2019, I was going through chemotherapy and radiation therapy off and on throughout the years. So cancer shook my confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I got focused on that, focused on my health. And then with the thought of, okay, I could possibly die, tried dating, and it just, I couldn't really focus on the relationship because I was focused on my health, dealing with all of and then my business. So I
Right.
put a lot of energy and focus into my business.
So
Um,
because I'm a cancer survivor too.
okay.
All the time that you were focusing on your business and everything else, you were still alive.
Yes.
Still could have had a relationship.
Yes.
And that's when I was going through chemo and stuff, I didn't want to do that to anybody because I think I think it's normal to do what you did. But I find it interesting that we're still here. The clock is still going and we're just doing everything without somebody. When that's the time you need somebody the most.
I tried dating,
I'm
but
not
it's
saying
like,
I'm just saying in general. In
yeah,
general.
yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes. Um, it was just that now, this is the first time since the first diagnosis and the
Mm-hmm.
re-diagnosis. This is the first time I've been in remission, like really been in remission.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then COVID-19 hit.
Mm-hmm.
And when COVID-19 hit, a lot of us single ladies are really starting to feel like,
Mm-hmm.
and then with me being alive, I'm like, oh my gosh, now I don't have to focus on dying. Now I don't have to focus on getting
Yeah.
my life plan together and focus on leaving something for my child. Now I can focus on myself and, oh wait, I'm single. Wait,
Right, right. You can't just turn that shit off. That's what I'm
right,
saying.
yes.
So
So
I get it when when you're I lost all my hair, my eyebrows, I had the moon face and prednisone. You don't feel it particularly sexy, but
right.
I get it. I get it. But at the end of the day, you still realize, wait a minute, time is going. So let me see. Lola, unmute yourself. So what do you tell your clients though? You get a woman that comes in and she's in her 40s, and she's not, and she's had a relationship. She's had a history of like 6 months, 3 months. Last serious relationship she had was back in college, but she's extremely accomplished.
Why don't match make for women?
But
Um, uh,
we know why.
yes, we know why. But I do get women for date coaching,
Mm-hmm.
and I just give them the advice that I wish I could have done
Mm-hmm.
during years.
Mm-hmm.
And first thing I ask them, I do ask them, have you gotten therapy? When was the last time you had a relationship? What was the problem? Did you take care of those issues? Why are you single?
Mm-hmm.
And then for the most part, it's I have to it's a shift of mindset. having to get them to change from that I don't need a man, because one thing is I never felt that way. I never felt like I never needed a man.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to get them to shift from I don't need a man, I'm happy with being single, to it's okay to say you want a man. And once you start with that, saying I
Mm-hmm.
want and I need,
There you go.
then shift that happens and you're more open and you're more receptive. The more positive you are about your dating life, the better quality men you'll start to attract.
Oh, Lola, what do you got for me? Thanks, Letitia.
So, hi, Kevin.
Hi.
First, I wanted to say congrats on the brand deal.
Brand deals are good.
And yes, congrats. I believe, yes, you can be single too long. From the female perspective, you could be inclined to work on yourself, heal from previous relationships, heal from your past period, advance your education and career goals. But as a person who's been single, but I have had like non-committal relationships, um, it's been a rough road.
It's a
Like
what?
it's been a rough road.
What's been rough? Being single?
Yes.
Okay,
I
you want to share with us how old you are?
yes, I'm 43.
Okay, so you're in what I would consider to be no man's land. No man's land is age 36 to 60, where there are like no good men in sight. That's what many women say. But it's difficult to date in the 40s.
Yes. And I was taught to get an education. And
Mm-hmm.
so I did. And I graduated top 1% in the country in my graduation year.
We're going with your bad self.
I I landed a career after a few trial and errors. I finally got a career that I can be proud of.
Okay.
I have a position that I'm pleased with, but my Prince
But nobody to
Charming,
share it with.
that's absolutely right.
Do you have a dog or a cat?
Both.
You got a dat or a cog. God damn. So here's the thing. So let's just play this forward. If I met you, I got to come in and deal with a dog and a cat.
I'm waiting for the dog to die, really. I'm just kidding. But
but that's the thing. I got to come in and deal with a dog and a cat.
mhm,
So
go
you invite me over to your place because you don't want to come back to my house because it's that night. It's the night where we're gonna get it in, and you're more
mhm,
comfortable in your space, right?
right?
All right. So you invite me over, and I'm in my suit, wearing my Rosia Dub, and as soon as I come through the door, I got Fido rushing me.
Well,
Right.
I'm gonna put him in one of the other spare rooms.
Okay, but all right. So you're gonna already plan to have that done. And the cat, you really can't put in the room. They just doing their thing.
Hmm.
But you know that dogs sense when somebody's open. They start making all that noise. They like kids. They trying to, hey, you trying to get with my mama. See?
No doubt. No doubt. I have to give him a treat, make sure he's already gone out and did his business.
Exactly. And again, and that kind of messes with the mood, mess around. Let him try to eat one of my boots if you want to. I will give you a bill for them Tom Fords. Here you go. And see, and I make jokes like that when I made that whole thing, buy a dog, and I was like, because we get things to fill our lives as single people to can we just be honest?
We
To
can.
to assuage the loneliness. That's what it's there for. It's to assuage the loneliness. I got something living in my house. But then when something living comes along, I'm like, damn, I can't even get with you because it smells like dog and cat in here. Yeah, I mean, that's honestly that's what a lot of guys think, man.
Yes. And you know, you're absolutely right. And I actually started thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my dad passed away at a young age, so I tried to gain as much knowledge about men as I possibly could while he was still with us.
Right.
And my mom, I love her to pieces, but she was in a space where she pushed education over relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she was a former model,
Uh
so
oh.
she taught me how to walk.
So you
She
can
told me how
attract it,
to.
but you can't keep it.
That's absolutely right.
Well, let me tell you one of the things. Let me give you a little advice. Um, Ditch the pets. I know it sounds hard. Get a fish. Keep the cat. Um, but no, I'll back up then. Don't get rid of your pets. But they do count though. I'm not gonna lie, they do count. Have you ever? What was the longest relationship you've ever had?
7 years,
How long ago was it?
a while, at least 10 years.
10 years ago. Has he moved on? Is he married or anything?
I moved out of state and I did not do long distance relationships.
Okay. So my question is, it's been 10 years.
Hmm.
Who left the relationship?
I did.
Why?
I didn't feel like long distance relationship would work. Um, I think I would be concerned about what was he doing?
Well,
Was he really at
of
work?
course, before I would ask why you, if it's 7 years, why didn't you guys just get married in year two?
Well, he confessed that if I hadn't moved, he would have.
That's
Now that's what he
that's
said.
bullshit.
That's what he
Hold
said.
on, but okay. So my ultimate point was to ask him what it was like being in a relationship. But see, ladies, you need to stop doing these long 7 year relationships. Don't give a guy 2 years. You need to give a guy 6 to 12 months up with the knowledge that you want something up front. Because what I'm hearing is you could have been married 5 years, and it would have been better to be married and divorced than have a 7 year relationship that went nowhere. Because unless you guys lived together, had things in your name, you still didn't learn how to be with somebody at a different level. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Here's the thing, Kevin. Can I go deep for a second?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was the type of young lady who collected men or boys. Um,
What?
yeah, I kind of collected boys.
Collected.
So
Collected
yeah,
boys. Okay.
well, I started out as a teenager, so boys, and
Mm.
then made my way up to men. So what I mean by that is I went after the quarterback, captain of the wrestling team, most popular guy in school, and I didn't really care about them.
Mm-hmm.
I just pursued them to see if I could.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did, I got my feels and dropped them.
Right. So men were utilities.
Hmm. And that was a vicious cycle that went on until I hit 20.
Okay.
And I decided to stop um, neglecting myself and my self worth.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was giving too much energy to them and wasn't getting any fulfillment.
Right.
And so then I decided to focus on school.
So let me say this: that have you had a therapist yet?
Yes.
All right. I'm getting hammered from all sides about these pet comments. But ladies, I need you to look at what the guys are saying in the chat rooms, because you got to understand, you ladies. It's like, well, I'm a single woman, I'm alone, a dog is protection, and this, and they're all that. But it's also a kid. It's also a kid. You got to get back home to let the dog out and do all this other kind of stuff. It messes
Mhm.
up the flow. When you're trying to get to know somebody, and then that dog still is there. And if you've ever had a dog lick your leg while you with something, look, ladies, I'm sorry. Pets are little people. So look at what the guys are saying. So um, in 43, I would ask the question. Sounds like you've had a. There's therapy's always good. Um, but if you've always looked at men, if you collected them because you could, it sounds like you may be an above average looking woman. Um, and most people would probably say, if you've had the ability to collect men, it doesn't make any sense to why you can't keep one. What is a man's purpose? Hi, Lola. Oop, I muted you. And Thelma, you're coming next. What's a man? What is a man's purpose for you?
Now he would be my best friend.
Okay.
Someone to go through the ebbs and flows of life.
All right, and that's something that's earned. And see, what I'm seeing, a lot of women who are past the
Danger Zone!
really need a way to recalibrate what they think men are for. Some women think
Mhm.
men are for sex, and that's it. Some women think men are walking wallets, and that's it, but never really got to understand who men are or what men want. So when they hear these nice things at 40 years old, that you want men to be all these, best friends and things, what guys are really hearing is, well, you want that now that you old. You didn't want that when you was running through us and treating us poorly. When we wanted to be with you and get married and build, there's a lack of trust on both sides. So the thing is, men can ultimately, whether we can articulate it or not, they can really sense or feel when a woman's not really there for them. This is an ulterior motive. Thelma, I'm gonna go ahead and let you speak real quick. Go ahead, unmute yourself, Thelma. And I see you, Letitia. You said your therapist told you to buy a dog. Well, buy a dog. I don't know, man. But dogs are a good way to mess up the mood, though. What's going on, Thelma?
Hey, Kevin, how are you?
I am well. What you got for me?
Well, I just kind of joined on. I've been listening to you for about a couple months, I guess,
Uh
and
oh.
um, decided tonight to actually join. And I actually love the show. I've tried to introduce you to a couple of girlfriends, and
Yeah, yeah.
you can only imagine. So,
They watch me.
well, I don't know. A couple have, I guess, because I've sent them links to your video,
Yeah.
and I'm like for you. I'm like with you. I think you're doing
What a
some.
lot of women do when they introduce me to their friends are usually shocked by the content,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
they tend to come back and they'll kind of start binge watching me for a minute, and they won't talk about it. But it's like,
Right.
ugh. I mean, it's kind of like there are a lot of guys who talk shit about love and hip hop and all this other stuff, but then these guys be watching love and hip hop. I don't watch this shit, but you know what I'm saying. So, but
Yeah,
why?
they'll
But why?
watch that.
But why
Actually,
don't they?
my girlfriends will actually watch Love and Hip Hop.
Right. But why would
Um,
what when you let them watch me? What was the main objection?
well, they don't like how you talk to women. They think that you're kind of mean.
Hmm.
And I'm like, he's just telling the truth, he really is. And
Well,
so,
obviously these women are single, right?
well, one is married, and the other one that I constantly debate with is single.
Okay.
And basically, she's like, the one that's married is like, I just don't like how he's bashing women, and I think he
Right.
should be softer.
Right.
I think he should be kinder. And I'm like, well, that's not entertainment.
Well,
He's
first off, that's
entertainment.
not a man.
And
That's not a man. You want me to
right.
put on a dress and high heels? No, thank you. But okay, let's get to you though.
Hmm.
The subject is happily single, but open to high value men. Can
Yes.
you be single too long? Damn, I can hear that from the street. 31st floor, you can hear all that noise. Can you be single too long?
Can you be single too long? Well, I have to tell you my story. I was married for about, I want to say 27 years
Uh oh.
about. Wow, right?
Right.
And recently divorced.
Okay.
So I'm back out here.
Uh oh.
So
What age did you get
I,
married?
hmm,
What age did you get married?
I got married at 21.
Okay. So you're
I got
back out
married
here.
right I graduated Spelman College in May of 1990, and I got married
So
in
without getting too deep,
hmm.
why did you guys split?
Well, I think we kind of grew apart. I know that's like
Who
kind of
filed?
like
Who
the
filed?
cliche
Who filed?
answer.
Who filed?
I actually filed, and
Mhm.
I've been listening to you about,
Yeah,
you
you better
know,
go back.
women filing.
You
I
better
know.
go on back. I'm gonna be honest with you. Let me just because if you've been with somebody for 27 years, that's longer than you've been. That's longer than you've been single.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
Oh, totally
this dating
longer than
market.
I've ever been single.
Well, the thing is, this dating market. Um,
It sucks.
well,
It does.
here's the thing. Very practically, if you grew apart, then that's on you. Because I'm not talking to him. I can't. That's on you. You shouldn't have grown apart from your husband, and you don't fix that by trying to go find another man. You find a way to grow back with your husband because out here, you're just another single woman on the dating scene, and a man here is a 27-year marriage, and first thing he's like is, she's for somebody else. You're a customized ride for someone else. Or maybe you can find a widower, somebody who's been in
That's
a
what I'm thinking. Yeah.
right. But if you guys fell apart, I mean grew apart, there was nothing like, there was no abuse or everything was
Mm-mm.
anything.
We
Did,
had the best
did you
friendship.
guys
He's
try
a
therapy?
Morehouse man,
Did you guys
and
did you guys try therapy?
we did. We did. I wanted to go, and we went a couple times. And as soon as the therapist said that, you do a crime, you got to do the time, he was like, "Well, I come home, and I never know what she's going to be with," and he had
What do you mean do it?
violated our marriage.
Oh, he cheated?
Yeah,
Okay.
like
Well,
several times. But
well,
it's minor as long as you don't get stuff happens. I
well,
always say in marriage,
well,
that's
here's the
how
thing.
stuff happens.
I would say this. Um, that can happen on a dating scene. I mean,
Yeah.
at our age, we got to be practical. Dating at our age, you got to understand what's out here. Um, and many couples end up reconciling and getting past what they got divorced because they realize what's the alternative, to stay out here and die alone or not,
Yeah.
because you already said dating out here sucks, so I'm not going to
It
argue with you
does.
on that.
It's not been, I guess, and then I had been ready. I just had a little fun
Mm-hmm.
after I
Mm-hmm.
separated.
Don't tell too much now.
Had
People might be able to hear your voice. She'll be getting all hot
You're
and bothered.
exactly right. He might be listening,
You better watch it now.
But I think too, like he was always had like, even though very handsome, got it going on, um, just always like a little confidence issue. And I just realized that no matter what I did, you
Well,
know, um,
I would
it
say
just
this. How long you been divorced officially?
Officially divorced. Gosh, I can't even. I think it was last year, 2019, June
Uh,
2019.
uh,
Officially,
I'm just gonna say it.
but separated for like 4 years, three
you're
3 years.
in your 40s or 50s.
I
I'm
am. I
post
mean,
coronavirus.
I
I'm
know.
just saying, man.
I
Hey,
know. I know.
maybe what was so bad ain't that bad. Yeah,
I think about that. I go back
I
and
would
forth
tell
with that.
you, I'm gonna tell you, I have women telling me all the time, you tell women to go back. Yes, because it's better to be with somebody you at least hey man, I mean, anyway, that's another broadcast. But I appreciate you calling in, sis, and get your friend to watch. Pour some wine and get
I
a
will. I will.
thank
I've
you.
already had a couple glasses,
All right
so
then. Bye bye.
bye,
Bye bye.
Kev.
I see, man, understand marriage is different, man. I mean, 27 years, man. So she said her therapist told her to buy a dog. No, don't buy a dog. Avery, come on in. Um, here's the thing about pets and friends. Anything that fills up your life. Let's put it this way. Remember when you were a kid and you used to, your mom was cooking Thanksgiving, you cooking dinner, and you used to ask to, "Who you want some candy or this or that?" Your mom would say, "No. If you eat that, it's going to do what? It's going to ruin your appetite, right?" Or you go to a restaurant and they offer the bread first, and your mama say, "No, don't want you to fill up on bread because then you won't want to eat your meal." One, too many friends, especially male friends, can ruin your appetite for your man because you're getting your masculine, non sexual attention from your male friends. And he's not going to want to come compete with that. He's going to be like, wait a minute. You got masculine energy already? Well, that's my space. And then you have masculine energy and no sex. So you tend to be closer with them. And the dude be like, what? This is awkward AF. Or your pets. It's like, well, it's going to fill up that space, so you're not going to want your meal. And I get it, but this is what a lot of guys say, ladies. And you can look in the comment section, and guys are like, yeah, yeah. And we're like amazed that you guys don't understand this, but it just goes to show that you're not thinking about it from the guy's side. Avery, um, your microphone's not connected. Go ahead, Letitia.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so well, yes, my therapist did tell me to get a dog. That's because after my divorce, I was very anxious about getting married again. So,
Hmm.
because I love being married. Unfortunately, we got married very, very young.
Right.
We were in college, and we wanted to start having sex, so we got married. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for us. And I had to leave for safety reasons. But I loved being married. I loved having someone. I
Hmm.
knew and understood that my purpose as a woman was to serve man, and I needed a man.
Hmm.
So my therapist, who was a man, said that that was not normal, that was abnormal, and that I needed to get a dog for
Mm-mm-mm.
that. So
He said it was abnormal that you wanted to have a man and serve a man.
yes,
Okay.
he said it was
How
abnormal. And
how did you find this therapist?
um, how did I
Well,
find this
first off, are
therapist?
you a Christian?
Yes, I am.
Was he a Christian?
No, he was not.
There you go. That's so. This is why it's so important to try out different therapists.
You know what? Actually, at the time, while I always believed in God, I was not a believer. So yeah, I was not a believer at that time. I had my came
You're having a problem with the church or God.
I was having a problem with God.
Okay.
There was things that happened in my youth and in my adolescence and things that I was having a problem with God. So
Well,
it
lots
was
of people in the Bible had a problem with God.
yeah.
I've had a
So I
problem with
wasn't.
God. Me and
So I
God have
wasn't.
wrestled many a night. I was pretty
Yeah.
pissed off at him for a long time.
Yes. And I had a road to Damascus moment.
Exactly.
I was Saul and became Paul.
Exactly.
But
Mhm.
before that, um, the therapist was like, you need to get a dog because it's not normal for you to have this hyper need for wanting to have a man. So I was like, if I don't get married again by 30, my life is gonna be over. And so I did get the dog.
Well,
But then I met my fiance.
mm-hmm.
Like dogs. My ex-fiance, he liked
Okay.
dogs, so we were fine. But
So
what I
here,
really wanted to say was
go ahead.
to the women who are above 50, that is the hardest demographic when it comes to dating and matching.
Yes, it is.
Because even the men at that age, especially if they don't have children, and what you are finding is a lot of men, and I know women are surprised by this, but I've always known this. A lot of men do not have children, and successful men tend to wait later in life to
Mm-hmm.
have children because they're busy building their careers.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, sometimes when you hit that 40, 45 mark, you're not really have put yourself out there for dating, you find it difficult to find a quality match and time goes on. But men still want children
Mm-hmm.
at that age, but they want it with somebody who's younger.
There you go.
Now I will say The average age that I've seen between me and my network of matchmakers is 28 and 30,
Okay,
28 and
you got
38.
another 30 seconds. I got some more people I got to get in.
So I just want to say at 50, to the young lady, to the lady that called in before, if
Mm-hmm.
you don't work it out, go back to your husband.
Exactly. And see,
Outside of abuse, anything can be forgiven, till
mm-hmm.
death do us part, is for better or worse. Get a therapist, stick with it, because it is better to be with someone than to leave after 27 years and then end up in a dating market, because it is hard and it's
Mhm.
lonely.
Right. I'm gonna have to do another broadcast on this dog thing because while I understand what your therapist was saying, I also understand that I think more conversation should happen because it does satiate a need. Anytime you have something in place of something else, it's no different than masturbation or using a sex toy versus your partner. We get accustomed to things that will it's a doofer, and I don't like doofers, doofer nows. I want what I'm supposed to have, but that would be a good broadcast. Thank you, Tish. You can stay in the comments in the section. Sylvie, what's going on?
Hi, Kevin. I'm new here. So I watched a video from, I'm going to tie it all together, but from last week when you were talking about single mothers. And so I am a single mother. My daughter's 10. And so after watching your video last week, I thought to myself, when she gets older, because I want what I want. And so I don't want to just go for something that I can get, quote unquote, right now, knowing that, there's a lot of headache that comes with having a child for a guy to come in. So I'll wait, another 7 years or so, and then I'll date. However, now I'm wondering whether or not it is the right approach, considering that,
Okay.
the theory of being single for too long. I just want to
Yeah.
know
How old are
what
you?
your thoughts were.
How old are you?
I'm 36.
36. Were you married to the father of the child?
No, I was not.
All right. What's the longest relationship you've ever had?
A year and some months.
How long?
It's
How long
more
ago
like
was that?
15, 16
How
months.
long ago was that?
More than 10 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Therapy. Because you
I am in it, actually. Yes,
okay.
that's part of
Because
it for sure.
basically you're telling me you're in what I would consider no man's land, 36 to 60, and you've got to this age to where you have no real history of a relationship. Now you have a child.
Right.
I'm not going to deal with that, but yeah, you don't know how to dance with us. You don't know how to. Have you ever jump rope before?
Yes.
Have you ever double dutched?
Yes.
You ever double dutch with somebody else? I mean, double dutch with two people in there, right?
Yes.
And see,
I've done it, but again, I was not a pro. But
but the
yes, I've
thing
done it.
is, imagine you're an expert at it, and the person you're dealing with is always a half step off. The jump rope gonna
Mm-hmm.
continue to get tangled. It's not gonna work.
Right.
That's
Right.
what a relationship is. That it's two people twirling and two people jumping, and you know how to do your part. But when you get somebody else, you start throwing off the timing. Um, I don't know how you got to this point, but learning who men are and what our purpose is on this planet, and learning what who women are and what your purpose is, because right now it sounds like you're a single mother. It probably sounds like you have a job. You
Yes.
don't need us. You needed us for to create a life.
But I do.
No, you want no
I'm
you no
honest to
okay.
say I'm not fulfilled.
Well,
Right.
okay, exactly. But see
Right.
what I mean in the modern world, linking that need that you have to a something that men can provide. That's the disconnect. What the need you
Mm-hmm.
have linking to what men can provide. Uh, there's why I would say, and you want to start getting working on that, because if you're talking about taking another 8 years off, that means you will be almost 45 years old, and you've had less than a year and a half of relationship experience. That's something that's challenging. Let me get to the next person. I'm gonna keep you in the call queue, okay?
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Vanessa or Avery. Vanessa, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm good. What did I get wrong?
Nothing,
Uh oh.
actually. I'm very in agreement. I'm actually in a situation where I turned 28 on
Okay.
Tuesday,
All right.
and I wake up every day so anxious
20.
because I'm getting older.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Danger
So I don't
Zone!
have any kids. I'm not married.
Okay.
Um, and it's just lonely. Yeah.
What part of the country are you in?
Pennsylvania.
Mm. Oh my. Um. So you want to be married? Obviously.
Yes, I do.
How many kids would you like?
I would like at least two
Okay.
or three. Just like my brother and my sister, there's three of us.
Mm-hmm.
So it only makes sense because we all grew up together and we all, you know, are very close.
What was the longest relationship you've ever had?
A year and 3 months,
Okay. How long ago was that?
uh, 2018. I'm right actually currently in a relationship right now. It's been a year in June
Okay.
and a
But
couple months.
but why would you wait? Okay. Does he want to
Yes.
marry you?
No.
All right. Well, boo. You sitting down?
I'm laying down, yes.
Okay. You might want to get under the covers for this one.
Okay, give me a second, because I even emailed you because I needed a therapy session. So I guess like this could be the preview of it. So
Well, if you
I'm
know
ready.
if you know you want to be married,
I'm ready. Yes.
and you know he doesn't want to marry you, learning how to uh, detach from this person is going to be something you're going to have to do.
I'm doing that right now. I'm actually slowly speaking with someone else, but
Another
this person
man?
is, yes,
Okay.
from 10 years ago, an
Well,
ex.
let's not do that just yet. Okay.
Yes.
Um, because typically one doesn't replace the other. Are you guys still intimate?
Yes. Yes, we are.
Does would you marry him if he wanted to marry you?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't
All
think
right.
so.
Cool. All right. Then there's nothing. Okay. No offense. Then
Yeah.
there's nothing to lose. Then
R-
it's nothing to lose.
I agree. It's just that I was taught that when I was growing up that you don't choose a man chooses you.
Uh,
So
That's fine.
I'm not really being chosen. Like I get, yeah, I get asked out and like,
Well, but here's the thing.
but
You got a lot of
yeah.
things going on,
Mm,
and the first error that you can't make again is getting involved with a man who does not want to marry up front. You ladies need to start saying this up front. I want to be married inside the next 2 years.
okay.
Everybody you date, first conversation. Don't wait, because if a man is a marrying kind of man, that's not gonna bother him. And if it's, well, how the wind blows, because now you're in a situation where your feelings are involved, your sexuality is involved, and it's hard to extract yourself, so much so that you're going back to a man you had 10 years ago to help you extract yourself from this sticky situation.
Ooh,
So
okay.
you got to get out. Are you guys living together?
No.
Good. He has to know. Does he know that does he know this is going nowhere? He knows you want to get married. He knows you want to be married
Right.
one day, right?
That's correct.
Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. And he doesn't want to marry, so he has to know that this is going to end eventually. So most guys,
Yeah.
when they know they're not going to marry you and they know you want to get married, they're just keeping it going until you break it off because the sex is still there. The sex
Mm-hmm.
needs to stop.
Cool.
And
Okay.
yeah, because you're going to need to leave, um, because you're the one who's 28 and wasting time, not him.
Right.
Um, that's why therapy's good, to understand how your headspace got this way, and then learning how to put yourself in a position to get clear about what you want, and then moving forward in that kind of vibe. And then going forward, only dealing with people who are uh, have the same kind of wants and goals, and then kind of going from there. But it's not a guy from 10 years
Mm.
ago. Uh, those kind of things are. And are you from Pennsylvania?
Yes, I am.
Um, is there? Are you? Are you? Can you move? Are you stuck there? Because
No,
Pennsylvania,
I can. Yeah,
Pennsylvania is
like I
just not
can
a
move, but
target-rich area.
I agree. And there's not that many.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, but it's like where it's just like you said, I have
What
to
do you do
figure
for a
out.
living?
I work for a bank in a call center with our fraud department. So I deal
Well,
with like,
pick
yeah.
pick a city: Charlotte, Austin, Atlanta. Atlanta's not so good uh, for women
Well,
anyway.
my brother is actually in Atlanta, so I do have
There are
family
more
that is
black
there.
people there. See, the thing is, you need to have more access. And if whatever you do, you can struggle. You can struggle in Pennsylvania. You might as well struggle being around more black folks. But the thing is, the net of it is, if he knows he doesn't want to marry you, and even if he wanted to
Hmm.
marry you, you know you wouldn't marry him, and you know he doesn't want to marry you. This is a dead end relationship. The only thing that's keeping you guys here is
Hmm.
sex and history, and the history just seems like a history of you'll do for now, which I'm against do for nows because
Right.
when you're involved with someone, that that desire, that need is fulfilled. So you're not even vibrating at a level to where an opportunity can see you because the sign says no vacancy.
Mm. So I should be single, but not for too long,
You
because
should be
because I'm
single,
28.
and you need to be single
Mm.
with and then get your head together and then move forward knowing you're single but you're wanting to be married, because if you continue to
Okay.
do this, you'll look up and you'll be 40 in the same situation. All right, Ma, I got to get on to the next one, though.
Thank you. I
Info at
appreciate it.
bykevinsamuels.com. That's how you book a session. All right. Jiminy Christmas. I'm saying Jiminy Christmas for all the people that are in here. Avery, go ahead and unmute yourself. I'll stop. Y'all, the dog lovers are killing me here, man. I love dogs. I do. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, I can. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. What did I get wrong?
Where have you gotten wrong? I mean, I do feel like a female can be happy single. I do have that mindset. First of all, I'm 24. Okay. I'm Haitian, I'm Caribbean American. I just recently, last year, I just recently left from a very cult-like religion. So their views on marriage, their views on singleness is like very extreme. So at this moment, I'm trying to learn how to change that mindset.
Okay. So,
Okay. I came from being a Jehovah Witness. I don't mind saying that.
okay.
I came from being a Jehovah Witness.
Okay.
So when they're saying, oh, a woman is single, they want her to be single for life. And not only that, for her to stay a virgin, for her to stay a nun, single.
Uh,
You
uh,
understand what I mean?
yeah, I'm from Oklahoma. It's the Bible Belt.
Oh,
I'm very familiar with.
it's
But the thing is, you say that you
mhm,
believe a woman can be happily single.
happily single if that's her choice. You know what I mean? I feel like also she can't be in denial, knowing fully well if she wants to get married. Listen, stop saying you want to be single. It's perfectly fine if you want to be married.
What
Like I
percent?
feel like
What percentage of women can? What, what percentage of women on the planet do you? Even in this country, what percentage of women do you think could be single from birth to death, happy?
I would say women that don't want children,
What percentage?
like what
Yeah, of
percentage?
all
Like a
women.
very small percent. A very small percent, because I feel like as a female you have that desire for a mate.
Okay,
You
so
have that desire.
at 24, if what's a very small percent? Give me a number. I'm not gonna hold you to it like you got to predict it, but just give me a number.
Oh, okay, probably like 15%. Like, I don't know.
I think that's high, but I'll take it. If 15% of women can be happy and single, um, if I say women can't be happy and single, that means 85% can't be what the 15% are.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, in general, what I'm saying is more accurate. See, we don't having a conversation about the 15%, which I think is high, doesn't really help anything. It's like another thing. It's like, well, not all women are like that. Well, the thing is, enough are like that, and enough
Mm-hmm.
women don't want to be happy. Enough women don't want to be single. Listen to all the women who were on here. Every woman who's got in before you does not want to be single.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear them all?
Yes, I have.
Right.
Mhm.
And you're the youngest one.
Yes.
So I would say listen to what the older women who've lived life and are telling you they're not happy single because you are 24 and you came from Jehovah's Witness. That's a
Yeah.
you're still trying that. I mean, I can understand trying to find yourself, understand what it all means, but at the end of the day, life is about people. And
Mm-hmm.
the Tracy Ellis Rosses of the world, that woman is earning far more than most women earn in a lifetime. So she has the financial means.
Right. Where she can have that sort of mindset saying, like, oh, I'm perfectly fine being alone because financially she's okay.
Right.
Right.
So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
well, I will say this, that I do think women can be happy and single. I just think, like you said, that's not being in denial. Because here's something: once you are single for so long, you are not cut out to be with anybody. And after you're single for so long, there's a biological clock that's out there, and your eggs do what they do. So, thanks for calling in, and I'm glad you got out of that quote unquote cult.
Oh, yes.
All
Yes.
right, Mom. You stay safe, sis. Bye bye. Gosh, dog, that's the long. Hey, Cassidy,
Hello. Hi, Kevin.
how are you? Are
I'm
you
well. How
are
are
you in the
you?
office?
Um, it's my home office.
Okay, cool. Looks like the home office was
Yeah.
made by Chanel. Uh,
Pardon?
looks like the home office of Chanel.
Oh, thank you.
So, what did I
I
get
try.
wrong?
Um, I don't I don't think you got anything wrong. I think that women can be single too long. I am in the danger zone. I'm 30 years old.
Okay.
Um,
And let me
and
say something real quick. Ladies, the danger zone is not an insult. It's just something that I want to focus your attention, that you can decide to have your life go one way or another. It's like the yellow light at the
Mhm.
at
Yeah.
the intersection. It's not a diss. It's just say, hey, here's where it is. Go ahead, Cassie.
Okay. Well, yeah, thank you. That's how I took it.
Mm,
It's more of I have watched a few of your videos and because I've decided to start dating
okay.
recently and it's a wake up call like that yellow light it lets you know hey you need to pay attention to what's ahead.
Hmm.
um, what I did want to say is I don't know if it was addressed because I came into into this segment like halfway through
Hmm.
maybe and it's sometimes women in the time where we are in our prime, like 22, 23, 24, we're not ready to be in a relationship. That's what
Yes,
I
yes,
think
yes.
happened with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Speak on it.
Oh, and what I did was, I came from divorced parents. They have a
Hmm.
good relationship and I know my father very well, but I just didn't feel like I knew how to
Hmm.
love a man.
Right.
I didn't feel like I knew what I was doing. And so hearing all of these black women around me saying, well, go find yourself, go
Right.
work on your career. And I was like, okay, yeah, let me do
Hmm.
that. Um, and it's been fulfilling for some time, but I started going to therapy and um, it came out where it was like, okay, you might have some attachment issues.
Hmm.
And after I worked through that, now I'm in a place where I'm like, okay, I have to be very intentional about
Well,
dating.
what part of the
I have
country are you
to,
in?
I'm in Chicago.
Okay. Well, the thing that you was talking about, there are a lot of women who are not necessarily ready in the prime marriage years. That's a very good point, and it happens. But I think you also know that you're a pretty woman,
I
and
do
that
okay. I do
yeah,
okay.
yeah, and see that's a pretty girl problem. That tends to be a pretty woman. It's I'm gonna do a show on pretty privilege, and see the trick for pretty women is different because pretty women. Did you ever read Charles Dickens' Great Expectations?
No, I
Okay.
haven't.
There's a character, everybody go Google Miss Havisham. Miss Havisham is a tragic character because she lived the rest of her life after her fiance died. She lived the rest of her life in a wedding dress. Um, Pretty women, eights, nines, and tens, women who get into VIP and all this stuff in their early 20s, get exposed to so many men, men from this end to that end. It's like an
Mhm.
overabundance of choice, and especially if you don't come from a place to where you value marriage or relationship as early on, it's almost like a mixed blessing. So
Yeah.
I find more pretty women in the danger zone who are trying to wake up right where you are, and this is a critical point for you. So when you it makes a lot of sense when you said in my 20s I really wasn't trying to do that because the pretty doesn't run out. I
Yeah.
mean, you're pretty in your 20s, you're pretty in your 30s, you're pretty in your 40s, and that's your experience is different than most. So what I'm saying is what you said makes sense. So go ahead.
So I guess with that, it's like you spoke on not having the practice of being in a long-term relationship.
Hmm.
And I mean, you hit it right on the head with there have been a lot of suitors
Hmm.
and being like, well, I don't really value this. I don't know what I'm
Hmm.
looking for. Oh, you're not the right fit.
Hmm.
I want to keep
Yeah,
focusing on work.
of course.
And I realize like I've had, stints of relationship. Um, and I I have good relationships with my brothers and with
Of
my
course.
father, and I was taught to serve them. I was taught to make their plates, and
Do you have lots of male friends?
um, I do, but not in my direct vicinity.
Okay,
Mostly women.
cool. Go ahead.
Um, I have a few good ones from like high school, but um, I just I guess now that I'm dating now, I went on a date on what's today? I went on a date on Monday. It was,
Hmm.
reservations,
Right.
got all dressed up and everything, and it went really well. I have another one, a week from now, and
Hmm.
I am
Go
I
ahead.
want to be
Tell the truth. Go ahead.
I want to make sure that my picker is right because I am trying to be a high value woman. Like,
Get it? I
um,
need to do this show on pretty privilege because you
okay,
guys.
maybe I'll come back on that
Well,
one because maybe this is
you guys are in such a no one really understands what you guys go through because they'll be like, oh, these aren't problems. You got you're having problems picking between guys who take you to reservation restaurants. Yes,
and it feels like it's not like it's not something I should be saying is a problem, but
but it is because
yeah,
you don't because at the end of the day, he's still a person. And if you pick wrong, you just pick a guy wrong who's higher level who has access to more money. It's a problem. And this
right.
pretty
And I'm
women skip
30. Whatever.
exactly. Yeah, I got to do this show. I got to do this show. I've been toying with it, but as someone who's accustomed to dealing with beautiful women, and I've heard, like I said, that's why I could feel in a lot of the story you're saying because I can sense the tension. And the thing is, what I think you're saying is ultimately, I'm back out here. I have access to these men that I've always had access to. My headspace is different now. Now I want something that I didn't think I wanted even 5 or 6 years ago. But now I want to make sure that I pick right because I don't want to go down the path of getting a wedding ring, which I could get, because then
Mhm.
comes a baby, then comes two babies, and then next thing you know, I'm in a bad marriage, a bad relationship, and I don't want to be a divorcee out here
And
on
then
the dating
start all
market. And
over.
then your godfather understands. Trust me. So what I
So
want you to do is I want you to email me after this show at info@bykevinsamuels.com. I think I want to have this show because I think it's an evergreen topic. How to make
info.
sure your picker is right. Because here's one thing. Let me give you something, sis. The kind of men you have access to, um, you're gonna have to end up. You're gonna have to pick. That's what it's gonna come down to because you have an embarrassment of options. This man is a multi-million dollar lawyer. He's a hedge fund manager. He's an athlete. He's this or that. You're gonna have to pick. And see,
Yeah.
the thing is, you have to ask yourself, what kind of life do you want? What kind of lifestyle do you want? Okay, after everything's taken care of, who do you want sitting next to you on the couch while the kids are over here and the dog is over there? Who needs to be sitting right next to you if you got 100 guys wanting to sit right next to you? That's what you
Okay.
have to answer.
Okay.
So email me, okay? All right.
Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Yeah, guys. I know I got a video on my show talking about being pretty rich. Pretty, pretty, pretty is like having a lot of money. And believe it or not, pretty women, a lot of people think pretty women have it easy. And while they do have it easier, it's not easy being a pretty woman because yeah, it's a show. It's a show. I don't want to get off the track. Shalinda, unmute yourself. Hello.
Oh, hello.
How are
It's so nice
you?
to meet you. Yeah, nice to be speaking with you. I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm good. What did I get
Good.
wrong?
You didn't really get much wrong. I'm 22 and I'm attracted to an older man. He's 51 and I've just been with him for like about 2 years now. So it's like a year and 7 months. And I'm having difficulty whether I should stay or whether I should go because in the
What happened? What just happened? Hold on. Hold on. Something just happened. Whoa. Hold on. Go ahead.
Okay. Do you want me to start over from the top?
Yes. Yes. Don't know what just happened,
Okay.
but it did.
So
You got up. You're
yeah.
22.
Oh,
He's
all right.
51,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and you don't know whether you should stay
Beginning
or
like
go
day
because
one,
what?
because day one he was like, I'm gonna quit smoking, and now a year and 7 months later, almost 2 years, and still getting nowhere really.
All right.
So
Do you want to
it's
get? Do you
I
want to get
want to take.
married?
I do.
Does he want to marry you?
He says he does,
Then what?
and
Then
he's
what's
been
stopping?
talking about it.
Then what's stopping a 51-year
He's
old?
still smoking cigarettes.
Hold on. 51-year-old
He's
man. What's stopping him from making
hmm
you his wife a year and a half ago?
he's still smoking cigarettes. Like he said he was going to
Has
quit in
he?
the
No,
very
no, no,
beginning.
sweetheart. Listen. Has he proposed to you?
No, he's just talk about it.
All right, then pay attention, because you want to tell me about how bad he is with the smoking the cigarettes. What I need you to understand is you're 22. You were 20 when he met you, and he was 49. Is he employed?
hmm Yes.
Does he do well for himself?
I mean, he's an average person. He just works at a restaurant. He's not a high value
What
man
do
or
you?
anything
That's
like that.
fine. What do you mean he works at a restaurant? Is he a server?
Like he does like no, he's a delivery driver and he also does CWP, which is concealed weapons permit.
Okay, so hold on.
Um,
Let me slow.
yeah.
Average earner. Do you want children?
hmm I do. Like 2 to 3.
He cannot afford you.
No.
Then there's nothing to talk
Yeah.
about. You want to talk about cigarettes and smoking, and I'm telling you, you're with a man for 2 years who has not once
hmm
proposed to you because he can't afford a wife.
Okay.
But you're more
I mean, I was going to like Yeah, I'm getting my accountancy degree, and I was planning on getting my master's
Where's
and
your
being the
father?
owner in the
Where's your father?
relationship.
Where's your father?
In Pennsylvania. I'm
Uh,
in South
I
Carolina.
need you to slow down. You're too young, and you're talking about you want to go get an accounting degree to do
Hmm.
what? To do what?
I'm currently in my junior year at Purdue University.
Okay,
So I,
congratulations. But sweetheart, you're too okay. You need to live a little. You need to. Okay, you're lost.
okay,
You're lost. You know ways you should be with a 51-year-old man who doesn't want to marry you as a delivery driver. Sounds like a loser. Sorry, you may like
okay.
him, but that's a loser.
I don't like. I'm talked about like going home and stuff like that for Thanksgiving, so I'm not sure whether to leave. I'm just having a difficulty leaving because I care about him and stuff, and I know.
He's a loser.
Okay.
He's a loser. And I'm sorry at 50, and if you and there's something going on with your self-esteem that at 22 years old you're dating a 51-year-old loser, and you're worried about him smoking. Therapy. Dad's not there. Daddy issues. All kind of stuff going on. Wrong program though.
I
Hold on. This is wrong
I
program.
know,
Oh,
I
you
know.
can't overtalk me. This is wrong program because it's a different show. And I'm trying to give you a little help that I can, but you're on the wrong topic.
I'm sorry. I
I,
just wanted to get
of course
advice
you.
real quick.
I did. I know. That's why I gave it to you. But
Thank
again,
you.
wrong topic. You need therapy because there's no way you should be with a 51-year-old smoking loser. Worrying about talking about him smoking when you know he can't afford you. If you messed around and got pregnant, that would be the worst thing to happen because you dating a Uber Eats driver who does concealed weapons permits. No, and somebody needed to tell you, and your daddy can't, so I did.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, iPhone. Look, I mean, shout out to the caller, but you ladies want to talk about what you want to talk about. Nah, he's a loser. No offense, dude, but you shouldn't be. You shouldn't a little bit more. You don't need a 22-year-old girlfriend if you're driving for Uber Eats. At least go to DoorDash. I think DoorDash pays more. What's going on? What's your first name? Are
Good
you?
afternoon.
Huh?
My name is Jasmine.
Jasmine? I thought you was Optasia. What's going on, Jasmine? What I get?
Oh,
No. What did I get wrong?
why did you think? Why did you think that? I didn't think you got anything wrong. I really enjoy listening to your show. Like, so a little background about me. My mom passed away when I was a child, like 5 or 6. So I was raised by like my dad, and I only have brothers. And I feel like sometimes they were teaching me to be too independent because I'm like, they never talked to me about how to get a husband or anything. They just said, go to school, get
How
a
old are
good
you?
job. Which I'm 26.
26. Now you do realize the topic is all right. Happily single. Can women be single too long?
Exactly. I agree. I understand the topic, sir.
Go ahead. So what do you have on the topic?
I don't I feel like women definitely can be single too long. Like I'll talk to certain friends and they've been single their whole life or 8 years, and it's like they don't ever have positive feedback. And it's like I just want to know, like, what do women who have a goal for themselves as far as marriage and children, like what should we aspire to? Because sometimes talking to other women, I can't tell. It's so
Well,
blurred.
um, I'm assuming your parents weren't married.
They were married 35 years before my mom passed away.
And where's your
They were
dad?
high school sweetheart. He lives down like 30 minutes away.
Do you talk to him about relationships?
I do, and he always tells me like a guy's gonna be lucky to find you. He gives you like that old
Oh, he
time
gives you the he
father
gives you the
advice.
he gives you the sugar and spice and baby girl princess stuff. All right.
Yes, sir.
Well, here's the thing. High level. Stay. I don't know who you. If you're dealing with a bunch of single women who are
Hmm.
out here dating, pretty much bad to be around because they're gonna have negative inputs because dating today sucks. Um, I was, you know, this is where the church used to work really well, but you don't even have that anymore. You need to. I don't know. Too bad your father gives you the sugar and spice, but you need to get around women who have had positive relationships and be
My
around.
sister's been married 21 years
But
and she's
then
only
that
40.
and that
So I
and
try to speak to her more than
but the thing
him.
is, all right. The thing is, you want to be married.
Hmm.
Why?
Because I feel like I'm more of a supportive person. I work for a Fortune 20 company, but I don't care about those things. I care about like making snacks for somebody, making somebody feel good.
Oh,
Like I don't really care about like the
well,
whole
then here's let
worldly
me give you
view.
this. Then you need to all you ladies who know you want to be married, you need to ask yourself what
Hmm.
kind of lifestyle you want, and then you need to
Hmm.
find. Then you need to ask yourself what are the kind of men who can provide this kind of lifestyle, and then where do they go, and then what do those men want from a woman? It's very simple.
Yes, sir.
What do you want? Who can provide that, and what do they want from a woman? That's a very
Yes, sir.
there's a big question, but that's how you can have to start it because it's too big to just kind of nail down in a show like this. But appreciate you calling in, sis. All right, we're gonna go on to we got the whole call queue is full tonight. Uh, L, unmute yourself. L, hello, hello. First name. What do you got for me?
Woman can be single for too long. And I think it has something to do with stuff that's spiritual.
Okay, what do you mean? Give me an idea.
Um, I'm a Christian,
Okay.
so I believe in sometimes people need to get delivered from things probably like in their life. Like if a woman is in her 30s, 40s, it's probably something spiritual that's keeping them, single, that's in
Uh oh.
bondage.
Uh oh.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
2 4.
24. Yes.
So basically, you basically what some women said. Basically, I'm single at 40 because I got demons, which
Um,
possibly.
Well, yeah, like I don't know if you're familiar with like spiritual warfare and spirit
I
husband and
was
spirit
baptized.
wives.
I was baptized at 5. I used to be over 3 different
Mm,
singles ministries, so yes, very familiar with the faith.
exactly. And do you know about like spirit wives and spirit husbands?
Hmm. Um, yeah, but here's the thing: the people who don't share our belief in Christianity, we can keep it in the spirit. That's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be more universal. So,
Mm.
but the thing is, do you want to be married?
Yes, I do.
By what age?
At this point, I don't know yet because I'm still in school, so I'm just waiting on God. Like I'm just walking in my.
Oh no, hold on. Let me go ahead and lean in. Marriage is not a spiritual matter. No. Marriage is not a spiritual.
Okay,
Don't
yeah,
wait on God.
that is okay. But I'm waiting for God when God sends me the person when I'm ready.
You
Because
you
at
just
this point
said
in
you
my life,
know it.
I'm not
You just
ready.
said you know it's not God. Then you are gonna say you waiting on God.
I am waiting on him, but I know that what he has for me now is not to, be thinking about marriage because I'm in school still. So I have to finish school. Because if I just got
All
out of
right,
a relationship. So
hold on. What you're saying is theologically not correct. It's not practically correct. You're just saying that because you're saying it, but it's wrong. It's not even taught in Christianity. What you're saying is not true, ma'am, according to what we believe.
about getting married.
No, you're saying I just know right now that God don't want me to do this. He wants me to be doing. He wants that, ma'am. As a Christian,
So what's the truth?
okay,
Okay.
okay. Let's start from the base. As a Christian, what is a woman's place in the world? What's your purpose?
My purpose is to, serve God, of course,
Wrong.
walk in my purpose.
Wrong.
No, that is truth.
Wrong. Wrong. Again, I've been over 3 singles ministries at church, and I've been married. Your purpose is a man. In Christianity, you have volunteered to be a Christian. Your purpose is a man. Eve's purpose was to solely help Adam, not to
Yeah.
serve God. Her purpose was to be his helpmate. Adam had the charge, the purpose. See, what it sounds like, and many of you young ladies are Christians, but you have a flawed understanding of Christianity, and you want these spiritual. God is your husband right now, and I've seen this run through our church to where I push back against it when I hear you young Christians talk about this. No, ma'am. Marriage is a natural choice, because if marriage was a spiritual choice, God would be responsible for all the divorces, and He is not.
But God created marriage.
No,
That
He
comes
did
from Him.
not.
Yes, He
No,
did.
He didn't. Okay, you're going to argue. Okay,
Oh, no, I'm not gonna
you're
argue. Okay,
24.
I'm
You're
sorry.
not going to argue with me because, one, I know what I'm talking about, and I can. First of all, even if you're a Christian, you shouldn't be arguing with me in the first place.
Okay, correct.
Were Adam
You're
and Eve
correct.
married?
Yes.
Who performed the ceremony?
Jesus did.
Oh
God.
shit!
Oh, you
Seriously?
curse?
I'm saying oh shit because are you serious? God, Adam and Eve were married? There was only
Yep.
one person on the planet. It was Adam. God put him to sleep, and He went inside of him, took out a rib, and said, "Flesh of my flesh." He made Eve. He presented Eve to Adam. They didn't get married. Who did the ceremony? Simba? Are you kidding? They weren't married. Oh, let me go ahead. No, this is crazy. Jesus performed the.
Not Jesus. God did. Jesus, God, Holy Spirit, the same
Jesus
thing.
performed the ceremony of Adam and Eve. Jesus was. I'm laughing because, man, you got to know that that's not even chronologically correct in the Bible. Adam and Eve were
But
in
God
Genesis.
God
Adam and
created
Eve were in
marriage.
Genesis, man. That was the Old Testament. That was the Old Covenant. See, what I'm showing you is you have a very, very immature knowledge of Christianity and the text. So I'm telling you, what you think you know, you absolutely don't know. You're talking about the Old Covenant. You're talking about back under Leviticus and Moses and Judges. We're in the New Testament. Oh wow, yeah. You
I
sit
still
down with your
believe. I
pat.
don't.
See what your sit down. Where's your? You need a covering. I'm gonna take it back. If you're a Christian, what? Who are you? Who's covering you right now? What man is covering you?
What man? Well, my
Yeah.
pastor.
Okay. Is your pastor married?
Yes, he is.
Then he can't cover you.
Mm.
You're part of the flock. There's a lot that you need to Christian. See what I'm saying this, man, because you sound like I did there's a video I have called Christian Feminists. Go back and watch it. Far too many of our black women are super believers, but you believe a warped gospel. Warped, misunderstood, misinterpreted to the point to where you can say, I don't have to do anything. I'm waiting on God to do it. And God is not responsible to provide you a mate or a timing. He didn't give, Boaz happed up on Ruth. God didn't say, hey, go find Ruth. She's over there.
Yeah, it says he who finds a wife finds a good thing.
But and what does that mean?
He who finds a wife finds a good thing, which is the
And
man
find
is
if
the one
and
who
what else? What is
goes
it? Who you find the
and
wife
gains
finds a good thing
favor
and
from the
find favor
Lord.
with the Lord. But what is that? What is the presumption in that statement?
Mm.
The presumption is that you are a wife first before you are found.
Exactly.
Which you're not. You have to be a wife before you're found.
You're right.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying, young lady. Warped understanding. You guys throw out scripture like tic tacs and you don't understand what you're talking about, and then you try to live by it. He will find that the wife finds a good thing and find favor with the Lord. But you got to understand, you must be a wife before you get married. How do you become a wife before you get married? That's your mother's responsibility and the women of the community to make sure that you are prepared take on the charge of being a wife directly from your husband's house to your husband, from your father's house to your husband's house. You're never supposed to be uncovered. Who's supposed to be covering you right now is your father until you get with your husband. So when you say I'm sitting around waiting on Jesus, no, 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 no. You got it all wrong.
Yeah.
You got it all wrong. But thank
I
you
have
for
my dad. My dad is in my life.
Okay, well, again, then that's who's supposed to be covering you, but it sounds like you're covering yourself. All right, then. Appreciate it. That was interesting.
Yeah.
You got it wrong, though. Bye-bye. Otasia, everybody. Otasia. Jesus performed this ceremony for Adam and Eve. Lord have mercy. We're going to need at least 5 people to throw $1 in the super chat for that. That was worth it. Shout out to the caller. I think she understands that, she has a few things up. It's good to believe, but it's bad to believe a wrong-headed doctrine. That's why I've done the broadcast, Christian Feminists. And there's so many black women who are married to Jesus, married to the church, and just wrong as French toast. And sitting up there saying God gonna send it, and God ain't got nothing to do with your dysfunction and not understanding why you are where you are. Alexis, go ahead. Alexis, unmute yourself. Hello? I can. What you got for me?
Okay. Well, I was gonna say I agree with the topic that one could be single for too long. And for me, like I guess you can say freshly single after
Okay.
I've been single for 3 months, and I was in an 8-year relationship that I actually ended because I just felt like after 8 years, like if the guy didn't know that he wanted to marry me, like
how old are you?
What's the point? I'm 25.
Oh my.
Yeah.
You were
So
with him
I
since you
was
were 16 or 17?
17, yeah, 17 years old.
Any children?
No children, no.
All right.
So
where's your dad?
He's not in my life.
All right. So I always recommend everybody get some therapy because it's a good time to, especially if you don't have, you're raised by one parent. It's not saying you're crazy. It's just we need to get some of these things talked out or found out or understand why we do what we do. And friends and family are not equipped to give us what we need. You can't get this from your girlfriends or your homeboys. Number one. Number two, being in a relationship for that long, you know, I hate to hear that. But going forward, it sounds like you're a relationship kind of person.
Yeah.
Just need to make sure you pick better or before you can pick, you need to know what you want and what fits you. That's why therapy 1-to-1 is so important. Because basically what you're gonna say is if you have 8 years into this, did you leave the relationship better off than you entered it?
I think so.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing. But,
Yeah.
going forward, do you want to be married?
I do, yeah.
Okay, well, then going forward, don't date any guys that don't want to be married. Simple as that. Because you're a relationship kind of girl. And when we're relationship kind of women, it's easier for you guys to start making stuff up the guys never say.
Right. That's definitely the plan. I'm trying to date to marry.
Well, but you're not even, you haven't even grieved your relationship. 8 years is going to take you at least a couple of years to detox from this. You can't go from 8. So you got to slow down. And
but I don't want to be too old.
Well, but understand something, Alexis. If you were good a guy for 8 years, do you guys still speak to one another?
We haven't spoken to each other in 3 weeks. So
3 weeks. You've been broke up for 3 months.
Yeah.
Be honest with me. Have you been intimate since you broke up with him?
No, not at all.
All right. But see, the thing is, he still has sway over you. If I were to meet you, I would not date you seriously because you were in an 8 year relationship. You've only been apart for 3 months. You have not healed. You have not processed. You have not learned. And that's what so many young women don't want to do. You don't want to slow down so you can speed up. I'm telling you I'm giving you good advice. It's up to you to decide whether or not to take it. Slow down, detox, do the work, come out better. Got it?
So what about the danger zone
Well,
and all?
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. It exists. It's still there. But if you don't do this, you're going to keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again, not healing. You cannot drag trauma and brokenness into new situations and produce healthy. The thing is, you learn and you don't do an 8 year relationship without a marriage again. That's what you do. I
Definitely.
know it sucks, but that's the truth. All right, thank you. Um, 512. Unmute yourself. Hello. First name. What's your first name? What you got for me? Okay. Okay. Hold on. Are you the topic is can women be single too long? Do you have something on that?
I do. Actually,
Okay.
I have something on that
Okay.
also because
How old
I have a
how old are you? So I know who I'm talking to.
32. 32.
32. Okay, you have issues
Yeah.
bonding with men. Go ahead.
Yeah. So when I'm single, I feel better. And when I'm in a relationship, I just feel suffocated.
You feel suffocated?
So it's like, yes,
What do you mean?
I just don't feel good. I don't know what to do, after, like
No, I don't.
that honeymoon,
I don't know what you mean.
like the time you meet and you feel good, I like it and I feel like I like that guy and I want to be with him the rest of my life. That's how I feel when I enter it. But after some time, I just don't feel like that,
All right, well,
and
let me
I don't know
explain
what to
something to you.
do.
Let me explain something. Let me explain something to
Yeah.
you. Paying attention? What you're talking
Yeah.
about is the butterflies and the newness of a relationship. That
Yeah.
shit is like new car smell. It's not
Mhm.
supposed to last. It's like eating a piece of chocolate. Happiness is supposed to come in bites. It's not an eternal state. Have you ever drank before?
Yes.
Have you ever been drunk?
Not too much, but yeah, I think I have.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being
I don't remember.
drunk is not meant you're not meant to walk around life in that state.
Mhm.
What you want, and if that's what you think a relationship, therapy, man. Because this is not relationships are real. They aren't fairy tale butterflies. They are normal, repetitive, boring. Their text messages: bring milk, see you in a minute, running late. And
Mhm.
if if being smothered, meaning you have to be responsible to talk to somebody.
What was that?
If you talk about being smothered, and well, I would say you need some therapy because being with somebody you should not want to be happy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and then going back and forth with somebody should not feel smothering. All right, thank you. I don't know what else to do with that one. Yara, go ahead. Unmute yourself, Yara. Hello, hello. And Ken, how old are you? What do you got for me?
So I completely agree with you and what you've been saying in terms of you can be single for too long. I think there's a sweet spot between your last relationship and when you should get back into it.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree with going to therapy after relationships. It's what I did. I'm in a relationship now, but my previous relationship was about 2 years, and then I went to therapy for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I made that decision of getting back into it. And I think a lot of women, what they do is they don't really take that step
Mm-hmm.
to go get the therapy and be like, okay, it's time now to like put myself back out there. And I think fear has a lot to do with it,
Mm-hmm.
as well as this whole like social media culture of, we see all these couples together and they're super
Mm-hmm.
happy, and you think it's just going to be like that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And unless that's what you get initially, you're scared that it's not going to be like that. So for me, the biggest thing was just taking that leap. And I think a lot of women are scared of getting hurt again, as well as the trauma
Mm-hmm.
from their previous relationship. So yeah, I think it's just going to therapy, getting over that fear.
I appreciate it, y'all. How old are you? 23?
Yeah.
Very sage advice from a 23-year-old. Hope everything works out for you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Ladies, that's it. She said exactly what I'm trying to get you to understand. She had a relationship, didn't work. She went to got some therapy. Slow down. You got to slow down to speed up, ladies. You got to slow down to speed up. I know it's not what you want to hear, but if you don't, you're going to continue. You run the risk of making the same errors. Chrislyn, how are you? Good. How old are you? 30? What do you got for me?
For graduate school. And now that I'm
You're,
here,
hold on, I need to make sure. You're 38 and you're relocated from Houston to New York City?
yes,
Go ahead.
and I'm in
I'm a
graduate
PhD.
school. And now that I'm here, it has become very clear to me that I am ready to be married.
Okay.
And so
What are you going
I
to
am one
grad school for?
interior design,
Okay.
interior architecture, basically.
All right.
Um, now that I'm here and I'm recognizing that this is a true reality for me. I
Mm-hmm.
am one of those people who I try my best to do everything quote unquote right. Like I didn't go all over the place. I did the work in terms of healing. I'm sorry, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I did the work, and after I would get in a relationship, I would make sure I do what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like I am at a standstill now. Like
Okay.
I know I'm in the danger zone, but I'm at a point where I just don't know where to
So how long have
go.
you been here?
I have been in New York now for almost 2 months.
All right. Well, yeah, and the city is different. I mean, I'm here
It
right.
is very different.
I've used to live here, and I'm back. I'm contemplating coming back seriously. You want to be married? How many children would you like, or do you want kids?
Oh, definitely want kids. 3.
3. Uh, Next question: do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant?
Um, of course, I wouldn't don't want to,
Hmm.
but I'm perfectly able to do so.
All right, but the answer is you prefer not.
I would.
Right, right.
For me,
Well,
I'm one of those people. Came from I'm from Texas, East Texas,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we're really big on making sure that I came from a
I,
household where my mother made the most money, and she took a step back
okay, so
to
what
be
are
able to
you
do
in New
that.
York City? Which borough are you in?
I'm in Manhattan.
All right, so most Manhattanites don't want to work after pregnancy, man. I mean, I know what it is, man. Because okay, so 3 kids, da da da, and the good thing is, really, things are dropping here. So, how tall are you?
I am 5'2.5". Please add the half.
Please add the half. You short women, I always want the halves. Dress size.
I am about a 7'8".
How much did you weigh at your last weight? Last time you weighed yourself?
I'm a thick one, so I'm probably like a 1 75, 180. What was that?
It's the fat sound.
Oh my
It
gosh.
it was
I'm very proportioned.
sweetheart. I'm an image consultant. 5'2", 180 pounds is not proportion. The average, listen, breathe.
I know. I'm hearing you out. I'm hearing you out.
The average height of a man in 1965 in this country was 5'10", and his average weight was 165 pounds.
Okay.
Conversely, the average height of an American woman was 5'4", and her weight was 120 pounds, a 45-pound differential. In 2015, the average height of an American male was still 5'10", and his weight had shot up from 168 to a whopping 160, from 165 to a whopping 168. He blew up in 50 years, he blew up a whole 3 pounds. However, the average height of a woman was still 5'4", but the average weight jumped from 120 to 160. The average American woman gained 40 pounds, and in the black community, that number is 187. You weigh 180 at 5'2". How much would a man at 5'2", if he were a healthy weight, what would he weigh? 5'2 and a half. How much would a man?
There'll probably be 100 and what, 50, 130? Between
100,
130
about
and 150.
135 pounds as a
Yeah.
man. At 5'2", you should be closer to 115 pounds. 115, 118, a dress size 4. So, this is
This
one
is
of the
interesting.
this is
Okay.
one of the biggest issues with women in general, black women in particular, because the shorter you are, the more men understand. You have no children, right?
None. Hmm.
So, if you were to get pregnant today at 180 pounds, you would put on 30 to 50 pounds of baby weight. That will give you on the low side 210 to on the high side 230. At nearly 40 years old, the chances of dropping all of that are negligible, especially if you don't have a history of being a healthy weight. You're going to keep about 50% of that weight. Child after child after child. After 3 kids, he can expect his wife to be around 210 pounds after 3 children. Ma'am, what man, what man who can make the kind of money you're talking about, that give you the option to not have to work to raise the children in Manhattan, wants a wife who's 210 pounds?
I'm trying not to take offense to your
I'm an image.
statements. I'm trying my best. Really, I am.
Well, here's the thing. But
But
understand something. Listen,
I'm
listen, ma'am. Understand. I'm a professional image consultant. This is not my opinion. Okay. I've been image consultant for men and for women.
okay.
This is backed
Okay.
up by the science, the data, the statistics, the facts. They're there. So go ahead.
Well, the reason why I'm maybe a little conflicted with where I understand where you're coming from from that perspective, but I'm also looking at the fact that I guess where I came from and the cities that I've lived in beforehand,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of as you were talking about earlier, the pretty girl,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm from, she could be the pretty girl and thick as all get
Right.
out.
I've lived in Houston, man. But what I'm asking you is, a man who is making enough money to support a wife and 3 kids in Houston would be making about $350,000. In Manhattan, that's closer to
Yeah, that's not gonna make it.
well, in Houston.
Yeah,
In
and he,
Manhattan, you're talking about 550. Okay, how many men making $500,000 a year have 200-pound girlfriends here?
I'm not familiar.
They
I'm not
don't.
familiar.
They
Okay.
don't. And see, the thing is, ma'am, the first test is a fitness test. Fit, cooperative, and single are what gets married. And 80% of black women fail the fitness test off rip, because whether you want to take it as I know what I'm talking about or not, the Center
No,
for
I'm
Disease,
hearing you
what I'm
out.
saying is the Center for Disease Control, the Department of Health, The statistics calculated at blackdemographics.com, black statistics for black people, by black people, it's in. You know, black women are overweight, and there's absolutely no reason at 5'2.5", you should be almost 200 pounds. You weigh more than a man. I don't care how thick the fat just fell in places where men tend to like it. But the bottom line is higher risk for diabetes, heart disease, stroke, preeclampsia in pregnancy, all kind of things. And there's absolutely no reason because you don't have any kids. Why are you at? When was the last time you were a dress size 4?
There was a medical reason for the increase.
Okay, which was
Mhm.
that? What was that?
Fibroids.
Fibroids.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I thought you were going thyroid or fibroid.
Fibroids.
Fibroids. What do
Mm.
fibroids have to do with weight increase?
Okay, so that's some due diligence that can come along with that. The fibroids, you can gain a good 50 pounds depending on how many fibroids you get over time. So that, and it can be removed, but it's something that is inherent in the African American
Well, understand something,
genetic.
man. Okay, so fibroids, the what? Okay, my ex-wife had Graves' disease, so it's thyroid, not
Hmm.
fibroid. But
No, so I'm
understand.
speaking fibroids.
Well, here's the thing, ma'am. Let me just cut directly to the chase. The world does not owe you or me understanding. It doesn't. It doesn't matter. You're still out here at almost 200 pounds at 5'2.5". No
Thank you
one,
for
no,
having.
no one has to care why your reasons are. You need to do something about the weight, ma'am, if you want to get married.
Well,
Point
to
blank.
me, but wait, so maybe this is another caveat to the whole picture because I'm only giving you one frame. Maybe also, I feel like I have had some issues with connecting with other men in regards to even when I was the size 4 and the size 6.
When were you that?
Probably about 4.5 years ago.
Okay.
And I worked in oil and gas. I was the person that worked international. I did all of that stuff. So it was a lot of stress. I have removed myself from all of that, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like I do understand.
Well,
Yes, people
understand.
are
Understand.
image.
Well, it's not an image, man. It's what men want. No man wants his woman to weigh more than him, ma'am.
I mean, and I may not have a preference for the 130-pound
Ma'am, what I'm
man
saying is men don't
either.
want, okay, men do not want their women to, I am 200 pounds and 6'4". Men do not want women of your size, ma'am. That's just, especially productive, competitive, successful men. You don't see successful men with large women. Not, especially not as a second or a second wife. If you do see them, they married them early on and they had got large as a result of children. Ma'am, fit is it. You have to be fit or else you're not going to be in the guys you're talking about are not going to see you as wife material. They will see you as side chick, hookup, kick it with, deal with, Netflix and chill, but not seriously wife. Because again, 38 years old, you're past the wall, which is 30, and at 35, high risk pregnancy kicks in. If you've had fibroids, that's more stuff. You got a lot of things going on, and you can't put weight on top of that and expect someone to have to deal with it. They're just going to say, no, I'm just telling you the truth because I have no dog in the fight. You can accept it or not. But then, after, even if you move the fitness to the side, there's still the masculine energy that comes with your profession.
Okay. I mean, it's. I came on here to get a perspective, so.
Well, and there's a reason 4 or 5 thousand women watch my show. It's not because I don't.
Oh, well,
No,
today was my first time ever hearing you.
what I'm
I,
saying is, what
so
I'm
I'm
saying.
I'm interested in just hearing.
Okay, well, my show is on Monday through Friday, and there's
Okay.
a reason women come back consistently, and it's because one, I am an image consultant, and I do this in real life. Number one, number two, My clients are the very men that you women want. In my Facebook group, I've already had 4 couples get together inside of 90 days, and one's already talking about marriage. I'm telling you what the men that you ladies say you want, what they want. Fit, cooperative, and single. And that's what these men are going to get come hell or high water. If they're black, they prefer black, but if they can't get it, they will go somewhere else. And the thing is, your question is, ma'am, can you get to the fitness thing?
I mean, yeah, yes.
Okay.
A simple question, yes.
All right. So then do that. Then the thing about your profession, oil and gas, I'm a chemical engineer by trade, and I started out
Okay.
working in mobile oil.
Okay.
So I understand the profession. It's a masculine profession.
Yeah, yes, it's very masculine, but they don't look like me.
Right.
Right.
So well, I tell women who your age, you should be kicking young girls' butt because of the professionalism, because of the wisdom of being able to know how to move in these environments. But you can't change what men want off the rip. And the closer you can get to what men want, the more you'll increase your options and opportunities. Because New York City is there are a lot of single people here.
Yeah.
And you've been here for 2 months. But it's very competitive too. Very competitive.
I'm a pretty competitive person. So
Okay.
okay.
Last question. The
Yeah.
longest relationship you've had with a man is how long?
It was 4.5 years, but it was while I was in college, going into my master's program, my
Okay.
first master's.
The FDA has approved a minimally invasive treatment called uterine fibroid embolization.
Embolization. I've had that already
Okay.
done.
All right. Cool. Somebody just sent this to me. But okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I've
Okay.
trust me, I have a very unique case. So
Okay. Cool.
they
That just sent it to me. So you said 4 years?
4.5 years.
How long ago was that?
15 years.
15 years ago?
Yes.
Okay. So you're one of the women I talked about at the beginning of this broadcast.
Yes.
And you heard the matchmaker that was on earlier, the cancer survivor. There are plenty of women who are in these spaces who are. My channel is watched by lots of professional, successful women. I have matchmakers. I have what? Just listen. Get a glass of wine. Get a Xanax. And just listen and understand that I'm not sitting up here at 1 o'clock in the morning to trash.
No,
women.
I don't
No,
get that feeling from you at all. I don't.
But the thing is, it's about understanding what the men you want. And I truly feel sorry for many of our sisters because you were told, go get that degree, go do this, go do that. And now it's like the world switched and twisted up on you. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, that degree, all that, I'm a PhD.
I'm
and
a
shit.
PhD.
That shit is not what they want. And that's foul because I'm a man and I don't pay the same price as you would pay as a woman. I can have a different. So this is why I say the fit component help goes along with the cooperation component and the femininity. You're in a masculine competitive environment, so getting around feminine women in a softer space. This is where I tell ladies like yourself, especially if you have the means, etiquette classes, femininity coaches, all that kind. Invest because you did
Well,
all.
I will admit that I feel like I am a very feminine woman and very, very attuned to being, I don't want to use that term, but knowing how to be docile in certain environments.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm very good at doing that. I think that one of the issues is still, even when I was a size 4, I feel like I was having the same issue.
All right. Well,
So after a while, I'm starting to wonder, like, okay, if this is the variable that it has been the same.
right. Well, I would tell you that I would tell you what I'm getting is it's kind of like as a fragrance connoisseur. Let me switch gears.
Okay.
I review fragrances. A lot of them sitting behind me. And often I'll ask somebody, what's your favorite fragrance? No. Oh, I love musk. I love the smell of musk. I love the smell of musk. And I'm like, okay. Then I'll say, well, what's your favorite perfume? Oh, it's something. And it'll be vanilla. I'm like,
Yeah, and
that's not
it's not even
musk.
matching.
Right, but to them that's musk. So if you feel like what you're doing is feminine, but you're not getting the outcomes, then you're right. The variable is you. Um, I can't kind of gauge it, but it's not uncommon for women who work in masculine, male-driven professions, especially Black women, to have that masculine energy because it's welcomed, it's actually praised in our community. This is why getting around femininity instructors and influencers, because I'm not going to ever try to teach a woman femininity,
Of
but
course.
femininity by its very definition gets protected. It's soft. It demurs. It does things differently and gets the outcomes just because masculine is drawn to feminine. So I appreciate you calling in, sis.
Okay,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much.
All right, bye bye. Shout out
Bye-bye.
to the caller. You know. Um. All right, we got one more call. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. We've gone long tonight. Somebody's daughter. I can't pronounce your name. Somebody's daughter. Go ahead and unmute yourself. All right. Oh, so hello, hello.
Hi,
Uh,
my name is Rebecca.
okay. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
What do you have for me?
Um, so I called in because some time ago you mentioned that you had been a stepdad,
Okay.
and it wasn't a great deal. And I am a 36-year-old with two children, and I just wanted to get your suggestions and advice
Okay.
on how I could make myself
Well, it's
in
really
any way.
it's really not the subject of the broadcast tonight, but I will try to help if I can. Were your children? Were you married to their father?
Yes,
How old are your children?
1 year and 11 years.
It's going to be really difficult to make a 1 year work because is that the child in the background?
Yeah.
I'm going to go. It's going to be really difficult to make that work because somebody's going to have to be there going forward. I'm going to go ahead. Here's the thing about I'm going to mute you, man. I'm going to answer your question. At 1 year and 11 years, I don't know why you and the husband are not together. Um, but unfortunately, that's a difficult push because you got one that's 11, one that's one. There's not even enough spread. If you met somebody next year, they still gonna have to put the resources and things in as if that's their biological child, and there's a father out there. Um, you know, I think many of you ladies, if you seriously want to go forward, you find somebody you want to be with, you may have to try to do joint custody where he has the 50% of the time and you have him 50% of the time, because a man being a stepfather, I'm going to tell you, I had 100% of the responsibility. Every time I bought something for my stepchild, I was taking money from my child. That's just the reality of it. The stepwife, the wife, that's her child. I had authority over, but he knew I wasn't his father, and there are all kind of problems with that. And at the end of the day, if and when it's over, the child is taken from the man. Men are not wanting to be stepfathers. Um, as terrible as it sounds, ladies, it's a bad deal for men, and you need to understand that going forward. So, if you want to deal with another man, you want to see what you can do with your ex. If you're serious about moving forward, custody to the father, or at least joint custody. Because I would tell you, I will never be a stepfather again. I would never do it. I would never recommend it. I would say I would never. It would be hard to recommend it unless the father is like, no, I didn't want to go down that path. So I wish you guys the best, though. I'm going to go ahead to you, let me get you. Have we talked? Go ahead. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Hello.
Hi, how are you? How are you, Kevin?
How are you? We've spoken before.
We have. I'm the one who don't who don't like to agree with you, but I do.
You don't like to agree with me.
Absolutely right.
Why
What I
don't you like
wanted
to
to
agree
add,
with
I
me?
do agree that women cannot be happy alone all the time. But what I wanted to add to the conversation was that I think that you made a very good point that relationships are important. We need to understand how to have better relationships, intimate and social and networking. But what I find is that since I'm raising two ladies, and it's nice to know what's happening in the current environment to understand to navigate my parenting. I realized that in high school, the high school years and early days of college is when you should be having relationships. So you can have an idea as to what's going on, whether you've
Yes.
been cheated on or do certain things. And then by the time you get to college or that later year in college, you're not devastated by certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And so by doing that, if you navigate, so yeah, I mean, obviously you have to be, attractive enough to have a couple of dates here and there, go out, have experiences, intimate experiences. And I did that personally. Like I learned a lot from my high school relationships. It doesn't matter how serious it was. I learned so much from it. So by the time as I'm growing, I've already had some lessons and tools in understanding people as to how does
Right.
it into a relationship. And a lot of women, they either don't get approached a lot in high school or during those years. So it just becomes a lot more difficult
Mm-hmm.
to basically attract or to proceed with a relationship.
Well, and that's true. You're supposed to practice. And those
Right.
are the
That's
years
my
of
point. And
practice.
so you don't know, right. And so the 48-year-old is like, I'm ready. Well, you have to do it simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
You're not ready at 48 and know you want to have a relationship because you have to now go take prerequisites. Like you have to go take classes for the
Mm-hmm.
basics.
Right. All right. I appreciate it, Mom. You know you like agreeing with me. You just don't like saying you like agreeing with me.
I know I don't like saying it, but I do agree with you. So a lot of
Uh,
things you say to me, I was told at a very young age. So I came across a little bit
all right.
harsh with people, but it paid off.
There you go. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you for calling
All
in.
right.
Bye bye.
Bye.
She likes me. They know they like me. Look, ladies, relationships are reciprocal. Relationships are reciprocal for every man. I deal with PCS men, Henrys, high value guys, and hit squads. Henrys in training. That's who I deal with. The top 30% of men feeding it to the top 10, to the top 5, to the top 3, to the top 1. But we all want reciprocal. And that's the thing. You ladies want reciprocal too. You don't want to give your body, give your time, give your womb, give your heart, give whatever, and feel like it's a bad investment or you can get taken advantage of. Got it. But neither do men. Men don't want to give their money, their time, their resources, even them parts of themselves. Believe it or not, guys have feelings too. They don't want to be getting played or whatever. Like when I start talking about the dog, the chat room went crazy with guys talking about these dogs are like kids and everything else. And I think a lot of ladies are shocked. They're like, I didn't know that guys think this way. I was like, exactly. Because you're not thinking reciprocal. You're not understanding that when you are dealing with the man, it's as awkward or off for him too, and he's risking himself. They shouldn't call them relationship, they should call them risks. That's why I think it would be better if people start practicing earlier on, knowing, asking what they want, what do I want, what am I willing to do to get it, what are the kind of people that can provide that kind of lifestyle, where do they go and what do they want? And then you got to pick one. You just got to pick one. It's like saying you want to go to LA. I'm going to LA. I got to pick an airline. There's several airlines. I got to pick an airline. There are a lot of hotels. I got to pick one. You got to pick. And every time you get on the airline, it's like, man, that airline could have got me earlier. I could have had a better. You got to pick. I'm not the kind of person that worries about what I did not pick. When I found that app, Hotels Tonight, and found out that hotels were a lot less expensive, I didn't go back and say, dang, man, I've been here for 7 days. I was like, let's keep moving forward. Jennifer, you're in the Zoom call. Your microphone's not connected. That's why I can't put you in. I say little things that are tongue in cheek and this and that, but you professional, productive, successful ladies, in order to become competitive, you have to start thinking reciprocal, reciprocity. And in order to do that, start treating men in a way that's good faith. Good faith because you don't want to blow opportunities with these guys. You don't want to blow opportunities with any guys, but certainly a guy that can actually beat that 80% that you can get. A person's only going to be at best 80% of what you want. And guess what? At best, you're only going to be 80% of what they want. I am definitely going to do this show on pretty privilege because I don't think enough people understand. I think pretty women or attractive women live a completely different life that I think a lot of people could gain. Uh, a lot of people could gain some great insight and wisdom to understanding what people who are not like you go through. It's amazing that people think, man, life would be so much better if I was this tall, I had this much money, or this or that. But people all pretty much have the same fears. And the sooner we can start having realistic conversations, get them out there to where people can start picking, being happy and comfortable with what they picked, and moving on to the next phase of life. Life is not over. Danger zone! Because you're in the danger zone. Far from it. I think in the danger zone, you should be able to make better choices than you did from 18 to 26. And that's what we're going to work to get there. Jennifer, you're still there. I don't see you there, so I'm going to go ahead and end this. Appreciate to everybody that called in. I'm going to be here through the weekend. Yep, your Godfather's going to be here through the weekend. Amazing. And don't be surprised if you look up and I'm living here because I love some New York City. Let me go in. I'm going to go open this thing and see what some of the super chats and the questions I have. Guys, give me a second so I can get this done. The pets thing. Wow, I did not know it was going to hit like that. Ladies, cut out long distance relationships. Small pets represent unconditional love, but make no mistake, they are. Thank you. They do that. Yes, I like pets. I do, but ladies, you gotta know that dudes are like, man, these little things. Look at all the guys like, yeah, man. I've gotten messages from dudes like they was trying to set the mood, get their mojo going. Like, man, them dog was getting all up in the way, man. I'm like, all right, man. See, at least a cat, you can run a cat away. The dog is gonna be in your face. Yeah, crazy. Good stuff though. Let me get to these super chats. It's past 1:00. Guys, I'm gonna start cutting these shows up into 15-second chunks. If you before I used to if you like to timestamp things on the video, feel free to do that. Because a lot of people like to know. If you don't mind timestamping where the calls happen, I'll let those stay. Let me go ahead and see. Dude says my mom and her 3 sisters have been single since their 80s. I know. My aunt died that way. My aunt was single since the 80s. She died 2 years ago. My other one's on the way out. Yep. You don't want to die alone, ladies. You don't want to die alone. Man said if a man bragged about making wine and dinner for himself, the world would laugh at him. Yep, that's right. T-Man says females want the wrong dudes to be right. My ex cheated with a 20-year-old with a 20-year-old. My so-called BF sabotaged my relationship, played the victim, now back home in NO with a bum. Worked for AT&T going on 20 years, also trading invested. See? I get it. Accountability is in it. Thank you. They say, yeah, y'all be with a man for 30 plus years, then come back out here in the streets. Yeah, you got to stop doing that. Who said who else would have got? Oh, yeah. Somebody asked about, there's a donate button on my website too to the person who asked that. It's down there. Is that why? Is that why women are single? Because they believe they don't need to serve men? Why do you women get so triggered with this thought? A lot of women were not necessarily taught that they don't have to serve men. They were just told that men are optional. You know, that they could do everything that a man could do. So the only reason to pick a man was for to make a baby, or if and then or to be sexually attracted and to that guy. They weren't told that men actually serve a function. And, the pandemic changed that, though. I mean, you can't blame a lot of the women for the messages that are pumped out in the popular culture. You know, that's why I said I feel sorry for a lot of women because they were pumped a steady diet. He said, "Small pets are unconditional love, but make no mistake, they're perpetual toddlers. Be ready." Hey man, I had a parrot. And I had to get rid of him. I love my parrot, but the life I live, I was like, I just can't do it. And yeah, I love dogs too, but I'd have one outside. All things being equal, and that's the thing about us single people. We set our lives up to be single people, so when we run, we smash into each other. We're like, well, damn, how's this going to work? Well, figure it out. You must. And here's my net thing, and I'm going to leave it. As long as you decide to pick well, you know, I think, somebody's going to have to move somewhere because I'm assuming that you're productive and competitive. So is he. You got your space, she's going to have her space. Downsize into one space. Find a new space and work things out. You're going to have to compromise. Ladies, say yes. And you need to say yes to your man. Your man he wants you to be focused on him. A lot of you ladies don't seem to really realize that in the beginning, you can set the tone with how your man moves. But if you want him to sink deep roots into you, you're going to have to give him a reason. And many of you ladies are kind of cautious initially because you don't know where it's going. And he's like, well, far more often men today, strangely enough, are ready for something more serious than a lot of you ladies because you're still weighing your options because you're playing the field and maybe somebody better will come along or maybe. Yeah, this pretty privilege show is going to be out the chain. What happens when you're attractive and PCS? Attractive PCS, productive, competitive, successful, and attractive. Men or women. That show going to be off the chain. Off the chain. But I got to go, man. Your godfather's tired. I've been moving and grooving and doing what I do, so he does what I does. Shout out to the CIA, the confident, intelligent, and assertive men out there. One love to the FBI, you feminine, beautiful, and inspirational. Ladies out there, keep your head up. Fit, feminine, and friendly. Remember, all you got is be fit, cooperative, and single. Gotta get a lot of stuff done. Trust your godfather. Trust me. I don't do this because I don't dig you. I do it because I love you. Till next time, peace. We are gone. What is this crap again? Again? No, I don't like that. Till the next time, peace. We are gone. Can y'all imagine what this show would look like from Manhattan? Overlooking the bay, overlooking the water. Y'all ain't ready for all that sexiness. Y'all ain't ready for all that sexiness. Wait, tell them about it.
I'm a PhD.
She's a PhD. I'm a PhD.
I'm a PhD.
Whatever, I'll do what I want. Where we are heading now, babe. Danger's hold.
Here's what you do. Buy a dog together. Buy a dog together. That's it. I know they're going to be mad at me. All the pet lovers, please don't send me hate mail. I love pets, trust me. But I had to tell you what the guys were saying. I'm a PhD.
I'm a PhD.
Oh. All right. I gotta get out of here, folks. I am tired. Join me on Instagram for videos you will only see there. Behind the screen in the frat room. Every day I'm on Instagram walking around the city. Join me at Kevin R. Samuels. That's how you find me on Instagram.
Nothing can stop me.
Till the next time, we're out. Later.
Lead the way. I follow. No need to say.
I'm a PhD.
Where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge.
I'm a PhD.
So tell your goodbyes. So fine no matter what. Yeah. Susceptible now. Before changes rise. Before it dies.
Gotcha, bitch.
Whatever, I'll do what I want. Susceptible now. Before the moment flies.
I'm a PhD.